few hours, we'll be telling you who next will be the president for the Ghana Olympic Committee here. Well, so the big day is today. We've all been waiting for. It is the day that we're going to be electing for the first time in 8 years a new Ghana Olympic Committee president. Well, what the ramifications are going to be, what you need to know from the grounds at the Accra International Conference Center. I will be bringing you all that you need to know here on GHOne TV. My name is GHOne Champong, and we're heavily involved when it comes to the Ghana Olympic Committee presidency and a host of those who are also standing for other positions in the Ghana Olympic Committee. Well, so my team who are also present at the grounds will definitely be crossing over to them to find out what really is happening and who is present and what the atmosphere is like at the Accra International Conference Center. So make sure you stick with us throughout. In the next 2 hours, we'll be giving you
the national hockey team, a former vice president of the Ghana Hockey Association.
Hi. My name is Mike Agri, and I'm vying for the presidency of the GOC in the upcoming elective Congress.
Michael Odrum Agri, he is the Secretary General of the Africa Gulf Confederation. He was the chef de mission of Ghana for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. He's a board member of the Ghana Olympic Committee. These two men are the candidates gunning for the presidency of the Ghana Olympic Committee. Who wins the race to the Olympic House? The elections are fixed for April 26 at the International Conference Center.
Mike Agri and then also Richard Apokabi, who are vying for the presidency for the Olympic Committee.
Well, thank you first and foremost for the invitation to join you in these discussions, and I'm happy that various media platforms now continue to create platforms such as this. Pre-Congress discussion and post-Congress discussions in areas that will help us grow our sports, because this is a huge and a very big industry that we must not just leave for commentary purposes only, but we must discuss it as a serious matter, discuss it as a social intervention that will take us out of poverty. What do I expect from these two great gentlemen who are vying for the position of the president of GOC? GOC is for me a very, very big platform. Indeed, GOC should be leading the charge because they have many sports, including football, to manage. Because if for nothing at all, they are responsible for our U23 also. So they are managing virtually every facet of what? Sports. And if they organize themselves, focus and look at grassroots sports, because for every sports to reach the Olympic level, you must make sure you invest right from the grassroots. So whoever becomes the president of GOC, their policy should be geared towards investing in the grassroots. They may not alone be able to do the appropriate infrastructure that will allow that to happen. But proper collaboration with government and corporates will enable them utilize the gravitas, the strength, the opportunity that they have to mobilize what must be mobilized. So we invest appropriately. Our pitches, our training facilities, our gyms, simple tennis courts. When we were growing up and young those days, most schools have multi-purpose pitches where you have basketball court, you have volleyball court, you have the lawn tennis, and you could just redesign the pitch for all these other sports. Today, all such spaces have been taken over. So I will be expecting GHOne in collaboration with NSA and the ministry, together with the local government ministry and the other ministries that are related, to work towards protecting, and of course the Ministry of Education. Luckily for us, we have a minister himself who loves sports. Not only is he one who has a football club, but he plays it himself. One of the common things you will find in Honorable Haruna's vehicle will be a football boot. If you search 1-2 of his vehicles, you will find football boots and something that he could use for training. And so he loves sports himself. So we are in the best of times to be able to see Ghana really move very, very far. The president himself has exhibited his love for sports, and that explains why he decoupled the youth from the sports ministry and had introduced recreation to sports. So we are in the best of times. The president's household, they are lovers of what? Sports in there. Sharaf, the son, is doing so much, investing in various facets of what? Sports. So for me, this is the best of times. And the work for the next leadership of GHOne is very well defined. We must move on. We should be able to see the completion of their investment in the Amasaman Olympic project. They should be able to complete it so it can serve the purpose for which the BT Baba-led leadership acquired that land, and Benunu Mensah leadership continued some levels of what? Investment and securing the land title and everything for that facility. We should be able to finish that and maybe do something in some of the regions also. And of course, they must support NSA to bring discipline to the federations. Most federations are not disciplined at all, and it has not helped the growth of sport. And I will not mince words with that. Some of them have just run these federations like family and friends. You see a husband and then a wife and then the daughter or the son are executives. You cannot run sports that way. The corporate governance. I know, yes, they will tell you it's their constitution, but there's a way you can guide as GHOne by offering that kind of leadership under the huge umbrella body. And support to federations should be fair and maybe balanced. It should be fair and balanced. It should not be that, oh, when I was contesting, maybe these persons didn't support me. This one spoke against me. So even if the federation has the potential, I'm going to punish them. Or I'm going to punish a particular athlete because I didn't see them come out to support me. That should not be part of their policies, because me, I will be watching. I'll be watching and I will speak out and I will call you out. So GHOne elections, I wish them well. I'm not a delegate. I'm a minister. I will be observing and I will be watching. May the best win. And whoever wins, know that every other person who contested has something to offer. So there should be a way to bring them on board. There should be a way. The governing board must also be prepared to support the leadership.
GHOne TV. We're also streaming on Star 103.5 FM. We're also live on Facebook and also on X. That's where we're streaming. So make sure you follow us as we bring you nothing but unprecedented here in Ghana as we go to the polls. So it's Ghana Olympic Committee decides who next will be the president of the Ghana Olympic Committee. Well, so I've been joined in the studio and also we'll be crossing over to the United Kingdom to speak with a gentleman who's played key role or who's still the Deputy Communications Director for the Ghana Olympic Committee. Benjamin Graham will be joining us on Zoom, as well as I've got great people in the studio. Let me quickly cut to chase and then find out from them what their thoughts are ahead of the elections this morning. It's already started. We'll be crossing over to the Accra International Conference Center also to speak with colleagues of mine who are also pitch camp there to tell us what the atmosphere is like at the Accra International Conference Center. But I've got in the studio Farida Idris. She is a board member for the World Aquatics. So she plays a key role when it comes to swimming also here in Ghana. She's joined us in the studio, as well as Mr. Sai. Derek also is the media relations person when it comes to Ghana Boxing Authority. He's also joined us in the studio. Remember, these federations also are key when it comes to these elections because most of them are the federations that, you remember, Ghana representing us when it comes to swimming, importantly. So the World Aquatics does play a role, and Swimming Association also plays a key role when it comes to the elections of who next will be deciding the issues that has to do with whether swimming can go or not, whether there's enough funds for them to go or not, and what have you. But good to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
Great to see you, Farida. And also, Farida, how is the World Aquatics treating you?
Alhamdulillah. Let me say good morning to your viewers, both on TV and on Facebook. Alhamdulillah, World Aquatic is treating me well. Ghana Swimming is also treating me well. I do not think my position has been filled at the GOC yet. I think I've worked with the current administration for 3.5 years until I resigned last year in September as the administrative manager of the Ghana Olympic Committee for personal reasons. So I'm sure that my office is still closed and no one has filled it yet. So Alhamdulillah, the sports fraternity itself is receiving me well and we are working hard.
Let me find out from Derek Ankara. Derek, especially we know when it comes to the Olympics, boxing plays a key role because out of the 5 medals we've won at the Olympics, 4 happens to be from boxing, having come from boxing, and also just one for football in 1992 at Barcelona. But then, unfortunately for us, just last year we couldn't go to the Paris 2024 represented there after winning a medal in Tokyo. Is it a worry to the boxing fraternity?
Yeah, my brother, let me say good morning to you and to my sister. I'm meeting her for the first time, and I'm already privileged. And unfortunately, she's left a role, which perhaps I'll give you an application before we leave. So I like ladies in sports. My kids are ladies, and I'm trying to bring. So perhaps I'll ask her to mentor them.
Sure, it's necessary.
For boxing, failure last time, yes. Because but I slept around 4 a.m. this morning because we have some fight, and I look at Accra generally, Accra Central, Bukum, the hub of boxing, and I see a lot of boxers around. What I don't see is how to manage, how to nurture all these talents for us to get. In fact, we must not get problem getting boxers on the world map. It is about the management of these talents, and then the finance share issues surrounding. But seriously, the last time we went to, I think one, it was a bad story. The boxers were supposed to be camped at a particular place. In fact, the place was full of mosquitoes. The boxers were supposed to be fed. They come for trainings in the mornings. Boxing is very different in the mornings and the evening. At times they finish their morning, and what they will take becomes a problem. At the end of the day, you are taking boxers to international tournament, and they have to look for trotro, to the airport and all that. So all these things are factors which is hitting our boxing. I believe that perhaps with this new phases, there should be some bit of change, because we have more than what we have. We have 4 medals from boxing. I think that we can do better, far. I believe that we have better boxers around.
So you believe in 2028, after we get the president today and the other executives, boxing will be heavily represented?
Yes, they must start working from now. The talents are there. We have pots of talents there. They need to work on these boys, and I believe that if you really want to impact the Olympics, we must be serious. I know this boy Awin Oja, Awin Oja, a Ghanaian. In the US, the father was a former boxer, but I did some small work for them. They came to Ghana, but when I wanted to do a sparring, they brought some small boy to him, and the father was so annoyed because the boy was defeated. Today, 1 year, 2 years on, I don't think that same boy can stand at Winoja.
Sure.
Because consistently, I see him in tournaments, regional tournaments, national tournaments in US, and it's been called to
the national.
Exactly. So, do you know? I don't know who will go to Olympics. Do you know that we don't have a standing team that we can talk about they qualifying for the Olympics? But then I'm assured that Awudoja is on the right track, and these are some of the things. My brother, it doesn't take too much money, but the people already love the sports. It takes some bit of care and some bit of focus and planning, and I think that with that we will go places. So I'm very sure, but we need to start work from now.
Okay, we need to start working from now. That's what Derek is saying. Derek is with Ghana Boxing Authority. All right, so I'll just be picking a few thoughts from them also ahead of the elections, who they feel best fits the role. We'll be also hearing from them as well. Let's quickly go over to Zoom now. If we've got Graham on Zoom joining us. All right, so Graham is joining us from his base in the United Kingdom. Graham, good to have you on Zoom. And how is the UK treating you, Graham?
It's fine. It's the springtime. Rain's coming in and out. That is fine. We're just managing here.
Okay, quick one. We know today is the day we all been waiting for, especially when it comes to the Ghana Olympic Committee. And for the first time in 8 years, we're going to have a new president. You've worked closely with the Ghana Olympic Committee as Deputy Communications Director. What are you expecting to see today?
Let me say a big good morning to Farida and my brother there. Great team. I think that I put out a statement this morning indicating that it's GOC is currently at not a crossroad, but it's a huge milestone. And the fact that you have the current president not running, and the fact that you have two, I wouldn't use the word former, but individuals who are versed in the Olympic committees, architecture, coming in to vie for the presidency, it clearly gives us an opportunity for us to see what new directions they have. And for me, it's more of the same. Individuals. You're not really having people who haven't been there before. Now, this is akin to what I always classify as the Ghana Football Association type of congress, elective congress, where we have the various football clubs coming together to elect a president. We're also talking about federations, 66 delegates, or 60 delegates actually, coming in to vote or elect a new president for the Olympic Committee. So basically, it's the same thing, but it's all about what direction we want the GOC to have. And I listened to my brother when he makes a point about we don't even know, or we don't have a standing team going into the next Olympics or even the Commonwealth Games that is coming, because I have said that we need to start thinking about a project at GOC where everything we see there becomes a project, not necessarily it being the normal activity that we participate. So I am particularly hopeful that the individuals who are coming in would begin to rebrand and remodify the Ghana Olympic Committee to become one of the toughest and one of the biggest organizations that is into not necessarily see events that is coming up as the reason why some athletes or other athletes would have to travel and go and compete for Ghana, but really nurturing and building the right materials and athletes back home and those abroad to push us forward. Other than that we're going to recycle the same story and come back. But I'm just hopeful, again, just like we've all said. If I look at the various individuals who want to vie for the various positions at GHOne, I am particularly excited because I'm looking at some of them and like, oh wow, so all these guys are there. Then it means that GHOne has become attractive. GHOne has become very exciting, that people hitherto you wouldn't expect them to align or perhaps be part of it, are now being saying that we want to now come and join GHOne and build it. So let's have an open context and see how these individuals can help us.
All right, Graham, there in the United Kingdom, telling us to have an open contest and see who best fits to lead the reins of the Ghana Olympic Committee. Farid, I just want to find out from you also, before we go back to Graham again. For you've worked with them closely also. You've listened to both parties. You can assess. One worked on the board and the other was the General Secretary. Would you say going into this particular one, the focus are on just these two? Because we know 30 of them are vying for the various roles, plus those vying for the presidential as well. And how many delegates? 60 or 65 delegates going to, vote. What is your expectation like this afternoon?
So ideally, we are supposed to have 66 delegates, but beach soccer, shooting, did not submit a delegate on the deadline date, and so we have 3 votes going out. So this morning we'll be dealing with only 63 votes. That is 25 Olympic sports, and each of them has 2 votes. And then we have 13 non-Olympic sports. Wow. Each has 1 vote, including professional boxing. We have amateur and then professional. Amateur has 2, professional has 1. Yes, so for me, really, we've not had time to really listen to what the 2 gentlemen have. It's been more like the usual thing. This person is there, that person is there, But I've not had the opportunity to work with Apo Kavi before. But I happened to work with Mike Agri at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games as his accreditation liaison officer proud to Tokyo and in Tokyo. I know his capabilities. I've also had engagement with Apo Kavi. The 2 are fine gentlemen who have led their national federation, hockey and golf. They have their success stories and what have you. But it comes back to the GHOne. I believe that it is not only the president that works, because having worked 3.5 years at the Olympic Committee tells you that our concern shouldn't only be with the presidency. It has to be each and every individual who is picking up the position. The non-charlatan attitude of some of the contestants, that is some of the persons currently on the board, really affected some of the achievement. I believe that maybe I had a different perspective. I had a strictly athletes-based perspective. Maybe it is because of where I started from, being with athletes as team manager, being a technical official, that's a referee, for about 12 years before I got onto the Ghana Swimming Board. So maybe my perspective is different. But if you don't have competent, committed, and strong board, the president cannot do anything. So each and every person contesting today, all the contestants that win, every one of them has an important role to play.
That's interesting.
If they sit there just like the current board did, I'm sure we will not succeed, because maybe I do not think that the next administration having someone taking up my role, because I went in all out. It got to a time that everyone was fighting me. But I tell you, your enemy is not my enemy. What I'm focused on is the athlete. So I don't care who you are. I got here by merit, and it was a board decision. So an individual cannot sack me. And I make sure I do my things according to. So thank be to God, with what I persisted to do, I was able to apply for each and every grant available under the IOC and then the Commonwealth Games Federation.
Wow.
Because
so that's what
GOC is not under the IOC,
yeah.
but it also works with the Commonwealth Games Federation. So it's a unit of these two IFs that they represent here in Ghana. But it also comes there. The GOC board will work, but you're asking yourself, the funds that National Federation take, are they able or do they use it to do what they are supposed to use it for? Because I can tell you, I told you that what the minister is saying, when I sit there within second, I can mention up to 10 of such federation.
Oh, that are running it like family and friends.
But the issue is that we should do less talk and go into action.
Sure.
If you identify them, take action. You hardly hear me talking, so people will tell you that I'm stubborn. I said yes. I went to a school in Zongo. That is the Youngsters International School. Born and bred in Zongo, Nima Gorillas.
Sure.
So I don't feel ashamed trying as a professional social worker in sports ethics, trying to defend the athletes.
That's true.
But the athletes too also need representation. They need to see leadership that are doing a lot of things. Most of the federation, it's not like they don't get money. They have funds available.
That's true.
Getting reports from them based on the fund, because for the IOC, when you are giving funds, you have to report what you use it for.
That's true.
And I'm telling you, there is no kululu. You need to report accurately.
Yeah.
And there's no exchange of paper. Everything is on an electronic system. And they have so many ways of verifying. If you say you've gone to a competition, they'll ask you what are the results.
That's it.
Because if you went there, it's either DNS, you didn't participate, you didn't, like for swimming, it will tell you DNS, you didn't swim. Other sports, DNP or DQ, you went and you were disqualified. You need to bring all this evidence.
And our people don't submit those ones.
My senior, that is the reality. You understand? So Apokavi or Mike Agri need the National Federation and the other board with who will take the other positions to help him to succeed.
Sure.
He cannot succeed. So for me, I will tell you that the eye is not on the president alone. The eye is on each first vice, second vice, third vice, secretary, deputy treasurer, 5 others, 3 others, affiliates, non-Olympic sport. Each and everyone should be intentional about it, or else we'll all be living in another paradise, thinking that Commonwealth and Olympics would come just on a silver platter. And we have to minimize the talk. More action. If you identify something, deal with it. You do not need to be talking over and over about it. I don't believe in that. I believe in the Marxism approach. You do action, go straight to the point, curb it, and then we are going to get the results that we need. So this election is critical.
Very.
It's very, very critical for every role. Because the Olympic Committee grant and Commonwealth Games grant, you need someone who is intentional, who understands. Thank God that both the presidential candidates have been in a position that they all understand all these grants. Some of the grants is hiding itself behind the curtains. So you need to look for a torchlight to look for it and make sure that you get all the grants available for you. Sometimes behind the scene you hear people say, oh, there are grants, people have not applied for it. I sit down and tell you, everybody has the opportunity to come and help. If you know there is a grant that nobody has applied for, you say it. You don't just put it on the platform and then say that there's a grant. Which grant? Because me sitting here, who has applied for a grant from October 2021 to September 2024, know that each and every grant available on Olympic Committee and Commonwealth Games.
All right, so I mean that's
voting has started.
Voting has started at the Accra International
almost
Conference
about
Center.
10 minutes ago.
Sure. So voting has started. On your screens now, live pictures from the Accra International Conference Center, where 63 delegates voting this morning to see who next is going to be the president of the Ghana Olympic Committee. There you see Herbert Mensah also heavily involved there. Is the Africa Rugby Federation president, and also they all play a key role. Bawa Fusenu, who is also standing, is the president for the Ghana Athletics Association, who is also going unopposed for his position. So these are live pictures. Wherever you're joining us and watching us from is the live coverage as we're bringing it to you from the Accra International Conference Center. Is the Ghana Olympic Committee deciding who next will be taking over from Ben Nunu Mensah, who for 8 good years handled the Ghana Olympic Committee. And I mean, under his reigns, we saw going to Tokyo for the first time in 26 years, Ghana did win a medal through boxing. And so, yeah, who next will be the president? And will that president bring us another medal in the next 4 years? Well, so remember, we'll be also going all the way to find out from Benjamin Billy Graham before we wrap up with him. He's on Zoom from the UK, but those are live pictures there for you. Let me come to boxing. Boxing has gotten Ghana 4 medals out of the 5 we've had at the Olympics. We'll be looking at our performance at the Olympics so far and what have you in the statistics that my colleague Jones will be coming to project to us pretty shortly. But then, boxing, the issues that still lingers. Currently, we gather that even the Olympics, we're going to be seeing a different a move and what have you. And people need to understand these things. I feel sometimes the education, especially, doesn't come well from the associations and the federations to, public, for people to understand that, okay, this person is boxing, he's an amateur boxer, then he gets promoted to being a professional, then he gets, because the Olympic Committee is even changing a whole lot with regards to IBA, and you can't fight through IBA to go to the Olympics, and what have you. So,
for Tokyo, it wasn't IBA.
Yeah, it wasn't IBA.
Under the IOC task force. So as we speak now, the current amateur boxing is not the recognized National Federation of Boxing in Ghana. It is the GHOne since, I think, 2018. So everything related to boxing has to go to the GHOne. So GHOne is allowed to do the entries for the Olympics. The National Federation doesn't do, including all the qualifiers.
I'll come to you on that with regards to weightlifting and what ensued recently. But let me find out from Derek the issues with regards to you qualifying even for the Olympics and what have you. Has it been nipped in the bud, or that's the same route you're using to get to qualify for the Olympics?
Okay, so I'm enjoying the passion and the knowledge from someone inside. I do my sports more from behind. I'm now getting close to the Olympics, and clearly what Farida is saying, it tells me that we must not be doing business as usual.
That's it.
It should not be business as usual again. Teamwork is important. You asked him a question about that presidency. She's told us that it's not about presidency. It's about a whole package. It's about teamwork to ensure that we get. But when you come to boxing, we used to go through IBA. Now IBA is off the Olympics, so you go through World Boxing, which Ghana has just signed on. So we go through World Boxing instead of IBA. IBA, some of the rules are a bit problematic, and it's been a problem. Even the way of qualification, that again was the problem why we didn't qualify the last time. And you know what? Again, the last time we have the African Games, Ghana did not have even one official, even one. I think with the exception of George Lamte, who is currently vying for one of the board. And in fact, it was sad when there was a decision in one of the fights. I think Theophilus Alote. It was so free. In fact, when you watch the fight and the decision came out, we were so surprised. And then I asked them, my guys, are you only doing management, coaching, and not, so these are areas that we must try and get ourselves. And it starts from the GHOne, I believe. It starts from there. There are courses that the GHOne sponsored people to go out there, because we need these things to ensure that our boxers get there, and then we go there, learn, come and teach them the rules not just boxing, the rules, the rating rules and all that, so that they will be in tune with the international standard, and then that will also help. In fact, the last time I think we were at Commonwealth or
Commonwealth,
one of the boxers in the final, he was not able to attend the last fight. What did we do? What didn't we do?
Sure.
Did we take a medical person who was checking the boy and all that?
No, it wasn't medical reasons.
Okay.
At all.
It
wasn't medical reasons. It was the National Federation issue.
Not doing something.
Okay. So that is why I will agree with you.
Sure.
GOC has a limit of doing things.
Sure.
But preparing these guys for games. So Kwame's issue was overweight.
Yeah, I know.
And then when I engaged, I saw what was happening. I intervened. In fact, I had to stop because I'm sure that I would have ended up fighting with almost the amateur boxing federation, because I realized what they were doing was wrong. The boy told me, Madam, Lea Keshi, So when from the start, it is 2 days. But when you get to the semi-finals, when you fight in the afternoon to early evening, you fight the next day for finals. These boys were not told that they were not given the calendar.
Wow.
So as soon as they shred their weight to go and fight, they come back and eat.
Exactly.
So that was what he did after the semi-finals. So getting to about 10 p.m., he realized I'll be fighting the finals tomorrow. So it was too late to shred that weight, because he went to give himself a special lunch.
Okay, I think Derek wants
to so clearly, that is why I talk about medical. So you see, they will manage what you eat, but they don't take, because it's a tournament. Even today, sharing weight is a very difficult thing. So you must know what you take in, so that you have, in boxing you have your normal weight you work with, and then you have the, so normally your weight is a bit above, you can do 2 or 3 below when it's fight. Now when you do ABC, so if you have a good medical person, he will tell you, oh okay, you've won, yes, but if in 2 days don't take ABC, or even when you take this, you can easily share the weight and all that. I know that he shared weight to the extent that he was so weak. You understand? So
I couldn't share the weight. and I want to come in because medical, I was with the team.
Okay.
In fact, everyone came to meet me there in Birmingham.
Okay.
The medical has no hand in it.
So
because
what
the boxing federation, the coach refused to submit the fight itinerary, and they refused all the boxers from even coming for physiotherapy.
But what do you think leads to such things? Is it that there's poor preparations from here, or
teamwork is an issue?
Is a management issue when they get there?
Senior, for me, what I believe in, that all of us has responsibilities. When I'm coming into boxing to check everything about the athlete, if the president of boxing is there, I can't bypass him and go to the coach.
Sure.
I would need to relay information to you. So if something goes wrong, it is the president.
Sure.
So in this case, it was Bernard Korte and nobody else.
Okay.
And they know, I'm sure they're listening to me, watching me, know exactly what I'm saying, because I engage them. Joseph Kwame even never shared even 0.001 weight within 3 hours that they put him to jogging, because it was jogging in the cold weather instead of bringing him inside to get more heat.
Exactly.
So at dawn, when they woke him up, he told the president that nobody should come to him because he feels that they want to kill him.
They want to kill, yes.
Interesting.
You understand? So there were so many issues, and we had Shakur Sameh with the doping issue. It also had its own background thing. And this thing didn't start now. Even in Tokyo, it was similar to Techi. Techi didn't get up to go to amateur. It was because of what he was subjected to. That's why as soon as he got to, he said, Madam, I'm going to professional boxing. And it is something that we witnessed. So we do reporting. Research is a critical thing for the ministry. When we submit reports of games to them, they have to file it. They have to make sure that recommendation is being implemented to the latter. Or else, senior, we will still come back again when we have result of Commonwealth Games, and when we find out that, as for swimming, if nobody goes to the Olympics, we already have 2 swimmers already in LA 2028.
All right, so currently in your shot is Shaban Mohammed. He is the president for the Ghana Cycling. Okay, Shanoon, but I think Shaban is in front. Shaban is in front in the Jarabia. Shaban is the Secretary General for Ghana Cycling there. So is cycling now voting, right?
Yeah.
And then Shanoon is behind him. So yeah, it's let's get over to Monica right now. My colleague Monica Bukari is currently at the Accra International Conference Center to tell us what the atmosphere has been like, and we're seeing what is currently going on inside. The voting is underway, but she should tell us what the total atmosphere is like even before you get inside. Monica, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Monica. Carry on.
Okay, so we are here at the Accra International Conference Center. Voting is already underway. We had quite a number of heads of federations here who have already begun voting. We have the outgoing president, Mr. Benunu Mensah, already seated here. We have Bawa Husseini, president of Ghana Athletics Association, who will be speaking to us just in a few moments. He is presently called to come and cast his vote. We had president of the Rugby Association also here, Mr. Herbert Mensah also here. So presently as we speak here, there is no problems. Everything is cool. Everything is happening. Federation heads are also casting their votes. We spoke to Prosper Harrison Ado of the GFA, who just cast his vote, and he mentioned to us that everything is okay, and in a few minutes he will certainly grant us the interview to tell us exactly how he feels and everything. But in just about a moment we'll speak to Bawa Hussein, who is casting his vote. Even in your shot you can see, we see Shaban as well and every other person here. So just in a few minutes we will grant you that interview in no time.
Thank you very much. But also, before we let you go, though, have you spotted the likes of the main people who we are looking out for? I'm talking of Richard Akpokavi well as
Mr. Mike Agri.
Yes, Mike Agri. Have you spotted them?
Mike Agri and then Richard Akpokavi. Yes, and I have spoken to Mike Agri. We wish them all the best, and I spoke to him. He said he is very okay, and after everything is done, he will speak to us. So he's very calm. Akpokavi as well is also very calm. And we are hoping that at the end of the day, who will be elected as the GOC president who leads the charges of Ghana sports for the next 4 years.
All right. Okay, Monica, thank you very much. We'll be coming back to you again as and when you get to speak with most of the federation heads. All right. So that's my colleague Monica Bukari over at the Accra International Conference Center, where voting is currently underway. So we've got 63 federation heads who are casting their votes to vote for who next will be the president of the Ghana Olympic Committee. And also we've got 30 for your information for those who have vying for various roles. And then we'll be rolling them up in the course of the show. But quickly, if we have it, let's just let you know who is standing for which position in the Ghana Olympic Committee presidency that is underway. All right, so those are a few videos there or materials from the live pictures there. Agri in your shot. So that is okay, let's cross over to the UK and speak with Benjamin Graham and also find out from him. He's alluded to the fact that he's expecting whoever becomes the winner to lead the charges better. Ben, the voting has started. I don't know how the feeling for you will be like now. Do you have butterflies in your tummy? Who exactly voting is actually started? How the feeling is like at the International Conference Center? You are not here with us though. You are in the UK. But then tell us what you are envisaging actually.
Well, I think that, like I said, we see a lot of individuals that I have said having been part and parcel of the GOC's work, but I think that opportunity has been presented for them to now see what they can learn and what opportunity they also want to offer to the Ghana Olympic Committee. I was particularly surprised to see Prosper Harris now, the General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association, availing himself to be part of the administration of the Ghana Olympic Committee. Particularly, I was surprised and I'm impressed that he's also offered to also lend his support to us. The last time we had the election, we even had Fred Achi, who currently is with CAF as well, also coming to lend his support to the Ghana Olympic Committee. So I've seen former Ghana Gas CEO also coming along, from Waki, trying to be part of the federation, the Ghana Olympic Committee. So there are a lot of individuals that hitherto, like I said, you wouldn't necessarily see them availing themselves to say that I want to go and help Ghana Olympic Committee. But now it is very open, and these individuals with varied administrative acumen have decided to say that, listen, we've got something we want to offer. We want to see how sports can grow, and the fact that we even have the sports minister also coming around to have some pleasantries with the individuals who are vying for positions and the federation head. For me, it's a very good thing. And just as I alluded to, that the Ghana Olympic Committee is akin to that of the Ghana Football Association. The federations are under the Ghana Olympic Committee, especially when it has to do with external activities that they need to embark on. Farida made a point about grants that are available and that federations are to expect certain support. Now, those are the support that the Ghana Olympic Committee would be making available to the federations anytime they intend to embark on certain journeys that are aimed at helping Ghana attain certain heights when it comes to participations. However, the general work that has to be done, obviously, it has to come from the support that the government would have to give, because as soon as federations get their athletes to qualify and they are going to represent Ghana, it becomes a national team affair, and that is when the government comes in. At that level, the Ghana Olympic Committee can liaise with government to expedite the support system that the government would have to give the federations or the athletes at that level. So oftentimes I tell people that at the moment, as soon as an athlete elevates or is elevated to a national team competition where you have to now carry the flag of Ghana, GOC at that moment can only partner with government to ensure that you have a smooth sailing activity wherever you are. But during the preliminary rounds, GOC then sorts or seeks the support or whatever support the GOC has to give you so that you can go and qualify. So when there seems to be that brouhaha, oh, GOC did not give us this when we're going to this country to go and compete, I then tell them that, listen, from the preliminary stages, for instance, the Black Bombers got all the support they needed from GOC when they failed in Senegal. Then they had to go to Italy. All the preliminary stages, GOC had to support them. Eventually, when they qualified, we didn't even get qualification to Olympic Games, but in an event that they had even qualified to Olympic Games, then it becomes a government of Ghana affair. So my take currently to the new person or whoever is going to take over is that, as I've said, begin to treat the Ghana Olympic Committee's activities as a project where we're going to have KPIs assigned to every project so that we know and measure where we fail, where we achieve and succeed, and what needs to be done. But if we are not able to do that, and we treat every federation walks in and says, I need money because I'm traveling to Turkey to go and compete, I need money to go and do this, how are we able to determine whether indeed we do have a chance to qualify or otherwise? Listen, other countries are prioritizing their sports to know where their strengths are and how they can maximize on that. I said I was impressed when I saw India competing in the shorter event, like 4x400 meters and even 200 and the rest. I was surprised because India have decided to pick a German sports scientist who currently, as I speak to you, is in India, and who that individual is working with the Indian government to now look at what we call the human anthropology, the body structure of the athletes or the Indians, and see what sports within the athletics space they can actually work. And today, India is competing in the 4x400. So what are we doing when it comes to ourselves? We didn't have to look at ourselves and say that, okay, we have this body structure that can give us opportunity in shot put, can give us opportunity. We have men who can do shot put. At the higher school level, we do shot put. At the university and the technical university level, we do shot put and javelin. But we don't even have them at the national level. Why? So we need to then begin to see, if we want to increase our chances of winning medals, we then begin to see all these areas and see how best we can maximize those opportunities. Because if we don't do that, and we assume that we can always use what we have to go, then we're going to have the opportunity to only do the short distances. Until recently, we had a high jumper, historically, at the Olympic Games. And we do high jump at the junior high school level. We do high jump at the senior high school level. We do high jump at the GUSA Games. We do high jump at the Technical University Games. And then at the end of the day, at the national team level, we don't even have a high jumper because there's no motivation over that. We don't even have the materials and all those things. So Ghana Olympic Committee can only partner with external institutions and then bring in the needed coaches, the needed nutritionists, the needed people to come and train those we have here. And then also reciprocate same. And then see how best we can build on these athletes. Other than that, if we sit at one place and assume grants are available, so we expend with money, we're not going to get the results. We need to move away from the armchair administrative style that we have been doing into more being proactive and being project-driven in what we intend to do. If we are not project-driven in our activities, listen, we'll continue to go to Olympic Games, the World Athletics Championships, the Commonwealth Games, and come home with nothing and still continue to expend money because we are not treating these activities as projects for us to get the result that we are looking for.
But then we'll definitely get back to you again. Today we're doing the show with you. I'm sure you've eaten already. Anyway, I don't know if you're...
There's a coffee. I'm taking coffee, so I'm waiting for you.
You're not missing Wachi. Saturday Wachi like that in the morning.
Charlie.
Anyway, so great submission there by Graham. But then let's go over to the Accra International Conference Center. My colleague Monica Bukari has gotten hold of Bawa Fuseni, who just finished casting his vote, to bring us up to speed what his also expectation is. Remember, he is going unopposed actually with his position. If Monica is ready, she can take over. Hello, Monica. Okay, Monica is not ready yet. But then let's just check this out. Then I come to my guest in the studio. You need to know those who are vying for the various roles. I mean, the voting has started already. But then let's just do this. Bring you back again. And then, okay, Monica is ready. When she comes back, when we're done with Monica, I'll take you through the various roles that most are vying for, the 30 roles that they are vying for, and whatever. Monica is joining us now.
Casted my vote, and I'm praying the people that have voted for Richard Kokavi and others, I know they are going to carry the day.
Well, you are standing unopposed. Tell us, how do you feel about that? Because once you are standing unopposed, it means that there is no one contesting you, so already you've won. Is that the case?
Yeah, that's the case. When you stand unopposed, you stand elected. But I'm just using the medium to thank all the GHOne delegates and members for giving me the opportunity, for nobody contesting me. It really indicates how high I've carried myself within the sports fraternity, and I will play my role very well. Support the Secretary General, support the President to carry the Ghana Olympic Committee to the next level. We need a change, and the change is definitely coming. We need a positive change that will take Ghana sports to the highest level, not the one that we used to go to camp 1 month, 2 months. That will not help us. But this change, I know, it will take Ghana sports to the Olympic level, and we by all means get a medal by the end of this by the end of those yet to be sworn in time of office. I'm praying so, and I know it will happen.
It will happen. Now tell us, it was Ben Nuno Mensah before he stepped down. Have you, the Athletics Association, been satisfied with proceedings throughout the 4 years? And are you looking out for continuity or a change this time around in the new committee?
I wouldn't say it was best between us. There were some kind of further situations, but we were able to manage it to this level. And this change is going to be a change for better, because we are coming with new ideas, new vision, and new people. This crop of people who are standing for the election and those who are stood unopposed are all people that have made name for themselves, uplifted their federations, so they are bringing the same kind of theme and experience and expertise to the next GHOne lesson. And I know GHOne will be a better federation than it used to be, but we always pray that our tomorrow should always be better than our yesterday. Whatever they have done their best, but we are also taking it from where they left to a better height.
Now, we see things are looking amicable here. Prior to this, we heard that there were some kind of things going on. But looking at proceedings here, I'm not seeing anything negative happening or negative energy. What were your expectations before this, Ed? Have you been satisfied with the voting process today?
No, yes, I'm satisfied with the process. The process has been so cordial, so orderly. Everybody following the guidelines. Unlike those days that used to be acrimonies and fighting here and there, this time around, this Congress is devoid of any other confusion. It wasn't that there were no other issues, but the committee and the executive made sure that those issues that were coming were resolved as quickly as possible. I can tell you that there were some legal issues, there were some people protesting against some federations, but those things were dealt with swiftly, so that we don't come here to have those same issues. So I thank the GHOne executive currently and the committee that ran the election. They've done a very fantastic job. That today we are seeing similar peaceful, cordial elections.
Now, as the General Secretary, what will be or what should be our expectation as you take the position? Is it going to be just focused on athletics, because you are the president for athletics, yes, or you are going to give us that energy for all other sports and make sure you promote from grassroots the sports of the country? Now,
it's GHOne, and GHOne had membership more than 30. So the responsibility is not only to look after your own federation, it's to look at for the GHOne family, including non-Olympic sports. So our duty is to take care of everything sports in the country, not only where we belong to. And that's why we offered ourselves for the service of the Olympic family in Ghana. Whatever we have done, whatever we have achieved, whatever we have done, or knowledge that we have acquired over the decades, we are bringing that to the Olympic family, so that together we will build a very new brand Olympic family in Ghana that will translate into the performance of Ghanaian sportsmen and women. So that when we go to Olympic Games or go to World Championship, we should be able to exhibit that Ghana has come. Ghana is a nation that is counted among the best run federation.
Thank you very much, and we wish you all the best. Though you've cast your vote and you are standing on the post, we know that certainly things will go smoothly.
Thank you.
So we wish you all the best. So this was Bar Husseini, president of Ghana Athletics Association, that we were speaking to. He's standing unopposed for the General Secretary, Deputy General Secretary for the Ghana Olympic Committee. We are still here at the press conference, Accra International Press Conference. We have Arm Wrestling Federation President himself, Charles says to be also in the house. The minister is also in the house. Herbert Mensah is also in the house. On my left, if you can see in your shots, we have the Minister for Sports and Recreation here speaking to Herbert Mensah, President of Rugby as well. Now let's take a second and also speak to President of the Ghana Arm Wrestling Federation, Charles Osei Esibe, our very own. Welcome back to your very own station, GHOne TV.
My pleasure, Monica. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Are you voting today? People would love to know.
Well, I'm just waiting for my turn so I can go and vote for the people I think will change the face of the Ghana Olympic Committee in the next 4 years.
What are your expectations today? Prior to this, we heard there were some things that goes on before this, but this time around we came here, we've not seen anything. We are seeing positive energy, things going amicably. What's in your expectation? What are you seeing today?
Well, I must confess that this is the most beautiful we have seen in like 12 or 16 years. I have been around monitoring, and then I have also come as delegates, but this is the most beautiful we have seen in so many years. It is also because the federations and the various leadership resolved that we must have a smooth elections. If indeed we want to lead athletes, if indeed the beneficiaries depend on us, then we must set good examples. So it is why you see, the elections running smoothly, and we want to take sports to the next level. We want to be able to support the Ministry of Sports and Recreation. We want to be able to support the National Sports Authority to take sports to the next level. And that is the focus for now. The next 4 years, we will build the sports brands that we want. We will create content, we will work with every federation and ensure in Africa arm wrestling. We see improvement. I am the vice president of Ghana Athletics. I have brought peace to Ghana Athletics. So everything I touch, if myself as an individual and the number of quality federation heads we see around, if we cannot come together to impact the Ghana Olympic Committee, then I don't know what the problem is. So I say it as it is, but I pray that we will be able, Congress will today elect that leadership that will be able to create quality sports content. Leadership that will be able to understand that sports must be lucrative and that the beneficiaries must indeed benefit from playing sports. Sports is business. It creates employment. How do we get this done? I feel we must get to the table and then, have a quality plan that will change the face of sports in this country.
Changing the face of sports in the country. The minister all along have been talking about grassroots sports. In arm wrestling, I know you've started something great and we are doing well. But talking about the grassroots sports, what should we expect from you as the president of the administration? Arm Wrestling Federation, what should be our expectations under this Olympic Committee?
Well, as an individual, I've been able to do a number of things worth emulating. But importantly, I feel that we must focus on unearthing of talents. Beyond unearthing of talents, we should also focus on developing the talents we have unearthed. We must create competitions, because without competitions, what else there is? If we don't create competitions, we cannot create or have future champions. If we don't create competitions, how do we get our athletes to be competition ready? We must create competitions locally and expose our athletes to be able to compete with the world. I am an example, and I feel that if we speak to the leadership of the GHOne and they listen, we'll be ready to offer advice and counsel.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Charles Osei-Sibi. So we've been speaking to the president of Ghana Arm Wrestling Federation, Mr. Charles Osei-Sibi. Let's continue to keep focus on what's happening here now. Okay, so we've been joined again with Oscar, Mr. Oscar. It's been a while. I've always seen you in movies and all that.
Yes, I guess there are other sides of me that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, so tell us about it.
I've been in sports for a long time. I'm currently the vice president of the Ghana Cricket Association, and I've been playing cricket for the past 20-30 years. I was a national team player, became a vice captain, became a board member, and now I'm vice president.
So for us in sports, we know him very well, but if you are watching us, you've always seen him in movies and all that, but this is the other side of him in sports, and he plays cricket as well and still steering the administration of cricket. Now, have you cast your vote today?
Yes, I have.
How was it? Tell us.
Oh, it was very smooth. It was very orderly, as you can see. It's going extremely well. So I don't think we foresee any problems at all. It's very professionally done.
How do you see this different from the previous elections?
This is actually my first election, GHOne election, so I can't speak to that. But I think everybody's conducted themselves very well. You have presidents and vice presidents of federations, so you expect a certain decorum in here.
Right, tell us, under the cricket administration, you falling under the Ghana Olympic Committee, but we've never had cricket competing in Olympics and all that. Tell us, what should be our expectation this time around, if not even for Olympics, Commonwealth Games and all that? What should be our expectation when it comes to Cricket Federation?
Well, I think our administration has made a historic achievement in that we hosted for the first time cricket as a code in the Africa Games, and we hosted it here in Accra, having teams like South Africa, major African teams that are playing in the World League. And it is primarily because of that we're now going to be seeing it's contributed to the fact that cricket is going to be played in the Olympic Games for the first time in the
For the very first time you are hearing Mr. Oscar here.
Yes. And so we're absolutely delighted. So we'll be looking forward to that moment where there'll be an announcement that Ghana
Yeah, Monica,
is playing
can
in the Olympic Games.
Monica, can I ask?
Congratulations. We can't wait for that. But tell us, what will be your expectation for the next 4 years when we elect the new president for the Ghana Olympic Committee?
I think that we want a smooth administration. We want a dynamic administration. There's a lot of work to be done in sports. As you know, many of them are lesser known or lesser financed sports. There are a lot of issues that have to be looked at in terms of identifying talent, developing the talent, and a lot of it boils around funding. So we're going to have to look at a lot of solutions. We hope that corporate Ghana will come aboard, but most importantly, the Ministry of Sports and government must recognize the power, the soft power that sports offers to develop this country. And we're looking forward with the new minister to support the drive for sports.
Right. Thank you very much. There you heard Mr. Oscar himself, President for Cricket, Vice President for Cricket Federation. Thank you very much for speaking to us here on GHOne TV.
Hello. All right.
Hi.
Yes.
So we have also been joined by Mohammed Sanoon. Tell us about yourself, your federation and all that.
Well, first of all, I'm the Secretary General of the Ghana Olympic Committee. Our board just got dissolved. Sorry, I'm not used to cameras. All right, sorry about that. Yes, first of all, I'm the Secretary General. Our board just got dissolved. I'm the President for the Ghana Cycling, and then my duty was to ensure that this Congress goes on smoothly, and I'm happy things have turned out the way we planned. And then yes, we voted for the delegates that stood for elections. Let's await the results of the Elections Commission.
Right, have you cast your vote?
Yes, I've done that.
How was the process like?
It was pretty smooth, straight. You choose your candidates, and then you put in a ballot box, and then we wait for the counting.
Is this the first time you are participating in the elections of the Ghana Olympic Committee?
I'm a very old horse in this business. I've been so many congresses. I can count way back from 2008 since I've been in the chair. But it's quite an experience, and it's also an improvement of whatever we've done it previously. So I'm very happy.
Comparing this to the previous ones, what will you have to say about today's election?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, that it's an improvement of whatever we have been doing previously. Sometimes it's marred by, some rowdiness and all that, but we don't have that today. And then, I think we've done well to educate our members to be orderly in that sense.
In your federation, what will be your expectation ahead when we elect the new president of the Ghana Olympic Committee today?
Well, sports now has reached a stage that, you need dedicated persons, educated persons to lead, and then if you look at the current space, it takes a lot coming from the IOC, coming from the Commonwealth Federations and all that. I believe, members are very sensitive to these things, and they are going to vote for persons that they think can lead them to the next stage, and which I call the golden age for sports in Ghana.
Okay, talking about grassroots sports, are you looking forward to this new administration taking over and helping promote the aim or objective of the minister as in developing these new talents and guiding them and protecting them to make sure that they represent the country on bigger platforms?
Yes. The essence of our existence is to support athletes. So in that sense, we need to, collaborate with the government and also to let them realize their policies towards sport. We need to work together because we are the constituents when it comes to sports. The federations are the ones churning out the athletes for the nation. So if the nation has a policy, we all have to buy into the policy and make sure that it is effective and then achievable. So in that sense, yes, we are going to collaborate fully with the ministry.
And we look forward to that. Thank you very much for joining us here on GHOne TV. We wish all the very best. We'll certainly come back to you when everything has been sorted. Inshallah.
Thank you.
So we've been speaking to Shaban Saminu, right?
Sanoon.
Sanoon. Ebukai should be able to pronounce it Sanoon. Right. So, Joel, we are still here at the Accra International Conference Center, and we've been joined by, this time around, I've had about 5 male. This is a female I'm having now here. Tell us your name and the federation.
So, thank you very much. First of all, my name is Rafatu Inusa, the current president of the Ghana Rugby Football Union. Today, I'm here on the ticket of the Ghana Triathlon Federation.
Have you cast your vote? Are you a delegate?
I'm a delegate and also a candidate.
What are you vying for? My viewers would love to know. I know, but my viewers would love to know.
So I'm vying for the 3 other members on the Ghana Olympic Committee today.
Is this your first time voting, or you are a previous voter on the election board?
This is my first time voting, and as well standing for a position on the board of Ghana Olympic Committee.
Standing in from rugby and then triathlon, yeah. Tell us, what will be your expectation? Have you been satisfied with how your federation or your sport have fairly been treated? Have they been fair to triathlon?
Basically, if I want to go on behalf of rugby, we've not been fairly treated for about 5 years. But we thank God that things are settling down, and we hope that this new administration are going to not only change the governance issues that we have in rugby and other fields, everybody and the Olympic movement. And currently, we are also hoping that all federations will be equally treated. Therefore, if you are within a year, there should be an amount or some form of support to each federation, because Olympic is more or less like a home that starts preparation right at the last end of the previous Olympics. So you don't take 1 day or 1 month.
From us here at the Accra International Conference Center, there you heard her, Vice President for Rugby Association and also Triathlon. We'll certainly come back to you with the results of everything that's happening here. Most votes has been cut, and pretty soon, in about a few moments or something, they will certainly count the ballots. All right. We'll get the information
Okay,
back
Monica,
to you.
thank you so much for all the updates there. Well, so wherever you're watching us from is our continuous coverage of the Ghana Olympic Committee elections that is currently underway at the Accra International Conference Center. We promised you we were going to bring it to you in your various homes, in your cars, on Star 103.5 FM, and also online for those who are keenly following the proceedings on Facebook. We are live on Facebook, GHOne TV. We're also live on X. So let's get to here. We see a lot of people, following proceedings so far on social media. Drop your comments. We'll definitely read it in the course of the show. But I still have in the house Farida Idris, who is with Ghana Swimming Association, and also she's a board member for the World Aquatics. And also I've got Derek in the house. Derek is with, he handles media when it comes to the Ghana Boxing Authority. We'll be speaking more about what they gather from those on the grounds and whether indeed most of them who are even vying for certain roles. But before I come to them, let's check out the various roles so that you get to understand better who is standing for which particular position. So if we have it ready, let's roll. Let's start first and foremost with the president. Those who are vying for the presidential race. We've got Richard Kofi Akpokavi, or they ever say it's Akpokavie, so I should pronounce it well. Someone just told me this before I came on air. It says, pronounce it well when you go on air. It's Akpokavie. So Mr. Akpokavie, stop telling people it's Akpokavie. You two, you have to help us. So that is him, Richard Kofi Akpokavie Esquire. He's vying for the presidential candidate. And then he's vying with this gentleman, Michael Odum Agre. Mr. Odum Agre, he told me that he went to the school in Fanspin, and I know a lot of his old students are all keenly watching there. Michael. And then he's going unopposed, Malco Afaginu. A lot of you who follow table tennis in Ghana, Malco Afaginu, he's the vice president of the Ghana Olympic Committee, and he's going unopposed. So meaning Malco Nehuson Trees will say he's not being, no one is standing with him. And also we've got the second vice president. So the first and second vice president of the Ghana Olympic Committee are going unopposed. It tells you they are doing something good. Frederick Latte Otu he is the second vice president and he's going unopposed. But there you have it. The third vice presidential candidate, Ernest Danso, he is with the Ghana Taekwondo.
No, baseball.
Okay, this baseball actually. Ernest is baseball. So Ernest is also standing. Who is Ernest standing with? Ernest is not going unopposed. So he is going to have a keen contest with the next person coming up. So there you see him, Mahadi. So Mahadi, I have known him very well. Mahadi is the president of Ghana Fencing Association. Mahadi is standing with Danso in this one, the third vice presidential candidate. So who is it going to be? Is it going to be Danso or Mahadi? And then you have Mohammed Badai GHOne. GHOne just spoke with Monica. GHOne is standing for the Secretary General candidature. So let's see whether GHOne can retain that position. And who is he standing with? Well, so he is with my alma mater. So I don't want to sound biased here anyway. But Mohammed Muniru Kasim, he went to my former school, the Youngsters International, and Farida is also an alma mater. We all went to the Youngsters International School there. So let's see whether Mohammed can pull something as he comes up against GHOne. Well, so we told you, Monica spoke with him earlier on. Bawa Fusaini is the Assistant Secretary General for the Ghana Olympic Committee. He's also going unopposed. He's the president for the Ghana Athletics Association. So Bawa Fusaini is also going unopposed. And also for Ghana Triathlon. And so Bawa Fusaini is president for two associations. Yes. Interesting. And so he's for Ghana Triathlon and Ghana Athletics Association. The treasurer also, we're going to be seeing people going for that particular role. This role is very, very sensitive. Sensitive in the sense that this is where the issues all churn out from. The treasurer, the money. Isaac Abuajidria is with the Ghana Tennis Association. He is the treasurer hopeful. He's vying for that one. Let's see who is standing against. Then Bernard Korte.
He's standing with
Evans. Okay, so he's standing with Evans of badminton. But then Bernard is going for the assistant treasurer. Bernard Korte is also going for the assistant treasurer hopeful. So this is how it's looking like. Who is going to be the assistant treasurer? Who is going to be the treasurer for the Ghana Olympic Committee? And popularly known, I'm sure this face is known in Ghana. Edward Patrick Neil Lante Bannerman. I remember famously when the past president Akufo-Addo was going to mention Neil Lante Bannerman, he said Neil Lante Vanderpool. So there you have him. Neil Lante Bannerman is going for the assistant treasurer for the Ghana Olympic Committee. So he is standing there.
President of Handball.
Yeah, he's the president of Ghana Handball Association. And yes, we were expecting to see the ladies, and then we have Aurora coming up in this particular one. Would you want Aurora to be the next assistant treasurer, or who is it going to go for? Well, so Aurora Commodore Topper, she happens to be the first lady who's come up so far. We'll be seeing the other ladies as well. You saw the lady that Monica spoke to. She is also the Ghana rugby football. So let's check this out. The representatives of the Olympic sports. So 5 are going to be elected in this particular one. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 contesting in this one. So George Lamte, Delphina Kwe. George Lamte is with amateur boxing.
Delphina
is Ghana swimming president. Farida is working close with Delphina. She works close with Delphina. You think Delphina can get a nod in this one?
Oh yes.
Okay, so
she's
Delphina,
already there.
She's
and
already
she has
there. She's proven a point, right?
And experience.
Okay, and Prosper Harrison Addo. Well, we saw Fred Achi. Fred was treasurer, right?
Yes.
But then this time around, Prosper is going for the, representative of an Olympic sport to be on the board. Well, so can Prosper Harrison Addo get a nod in this one? Then we'll have a representation of football in there. Do we need a representation of football? Well, if you ask me, I say yes, because when you look at the medals we've won so far, football has proven a point that for all these years, out of the 5 medals, we have 1 to be football and 5 in boxing. Well, Richmond Rexford Kwaku is also vying there. Albert Chefrimpong baseball. I know Albert so well. George Tete. And also Benjamin Kedi Asante. Well, so those of you who know Ghana Gas, the former Ghana Gas CEO, Benjamin Kedi Asante, he is president of Ghana Hockey Federation. He is also standing for this one. And Kamal Sule. So these are the 8 vying for the 5 to be elected in this particular one? Who is going to get that particular nod? And for your information, we've got those who are also representing non-Olympic sports, and it's just for one person to go through, to be added to the other, to be made 6 to join the board. Abdul Hayati. Those who don't know Abdul Hayati, if you know Christian Achu and Christian Achu's story, Hayati has, shown he's the one who brought Achu into the limelight. He's been doing a lot with Cheetah FC. He's done football. He's doing beach soccer as well with Cheetah FC and what have you. But he's president also of the Ghana Bodybuilding and Fitness Association. Hayati is standing for this one against George Owusu Ansah. So who is
Nana
going to get the
Mankata.
nose? Yes, George Owusu Ansah, popularly known. He's a chief, so that's Nana Mankata. Nana Mankata standing with Hayati there. Also, a representative of affiliated bodies. He is going unopposed. Samuel Tete Aye. He's going unopposed in this particular one. So get to know your candidates. We've shown you who is standing for what so far, and then we'll be seeing all these and who will be rolled into those positions. Also, you're still live here on GHOne TV, and it's a continuous coverage. Also, the 3 other members to be elected by Congress, there are just 3 for this particular one. Emmanuel Jani Nikwe is the Ghana Netball Association president. Nikwe, Reverend, is still there.
Yes. 83 years.
83 good years, and the man is still going. Derek, you're opening your mouth. Yes, it's 83 years, and he's still handling netball in Ghana. But also, I think netball should qualify for the Olympics at least, to see how, Reverend can go and say he's bowing out, because he's been trying. And listen, no matter how he looks like the legs are weak and all that, but he still is even there voting today. I'm surprised. So Emmanuel Owusu Asari also in there with this one. Emmanuel Owusu Asari is with cricket. Michael Into Aye is the Ghana Education Service. Nathaniel Johnson, Edwin. Nathaniel is the karate short. So Nathaniel is with karate, and Edwin Amankwa referred to Nusa Filipina. All right, so those are the ones you need to know. Let's go over to Benjamin Graham on Zoom now, just to find out his comments so far, what is happening. He wanted to make a particular comment, but we're trying to gouge him here. But then let's see. Ben, we're trying to gouge you here in the studio. You've seen what Monica has spoken to most of the candidates, as well as those who voted or casted their votes so far. For me, if you ask me, there is a new wind blowing. She interviewed most who are already in office and what have you. Are you of a different opinion with those she spoke with and the assertions they made?
Well, I think everybody's got their own direction, but you would want to disagree when we say that there wasn't a particular, vision or plan from the administration that is going to hand over soon. How can administration live in a coffers in excess of $500,000 for the new administration to have access to it in helping? If there was no vision, I'm not too sure that we'll be able to make that money available. And I've also said that I don't know how some people or some individuals understand the role and responsibilities of Ghana Olympic Committee that a lot want to join. Majority of the federations are registered and more or less controlled, if you like, for want of better words, by the National Sports Authority. It is not the GOC that they don't register with GOC. The role of GOC is to collaborate with the National Sports Authority to come out with programs and governance structures for these federations. So GOC can and would also always have to partner with government to ensure that these federations are given the necessary support that they need. Some federations have a very strong international federation support, like the IAAF for athletics. You can also talk about swimming. You can talk about even the boxing federation. So other federations do not even have those strong international federation support. And so a lot of them would ordinarily want to rely on then NSA, government, and sometimes from GOC, because GOC would get some support there from ANOCA. And these grants that GOC goes to seek there, these federations, for want of better words, are supposed to render account to the National Sports Authority and for GOC to have access and see where GOC can lend those supports into. And if you even take a look at the African Games, there are those who say that, oh, that was supposed to have been a sponsorship from ANOCA to the federations who are competing at the African. But again, it has to take GOC to make that move to get that sponsorship available. So I don't want us to, and for some of us to feel that in as much as you have a different opinion or a different direction in terms of vision, it means that whoever is at the helm of affairs is unable to do what has to be done. I think at the moment, let's look at the role of Ghana Olympic Committee, what partnership they can have with government and the National Sports Authority, and how these federations themselves, together with their international bodies, can come out with the programs. In fact, if we are to look at the plans, we are talking about 2028 Olympic Games. We don't even have a campaign base. We don't even have the structure. Most of the federations don't even know how many of the athletes are willing or perhaps do have the potential of qualifying, let alone talk about the qualification programs available for the year. You can even go and check for some of the federations in terms of the calendar, what they have done, and how some of the athletes are expected to be treated. As we speak, majority of the federations do not have coaches. They don't even have the what you call it, science coaches to help them understand whether they can do X, Y, Z in going. We don't have all these things, and it comes out with training. And I'm saying that a lot of the responsibilities would have to come from NSA, government, and then some assistance there from GOC. So it is not sacrosanct that GOC has to bear those huge responsibilities, because it has got, I mean, the Olympism stature or the statute is different. GOC role is indeed looking towards the Olympics. And that is where a lot of work and coaching, the governance structure, the training, and all those things comes in towards Olympics. But when it comes to the training of the athletes and the rest, in terms of other responsibilities, it is the responsibility of the federations and their international federations, and of course the National Sports Authority that they have already registered with, who is going to give them policy directions, that must come into support. So I don't want us to, and those of us who are getting ourselves into the position, to begin to look beyond just, oh, GOC is not giving us this, GOC must give us, because at the moment when you get in there, you realize that, oh, it is not as you thought it was, but it is actually this. And that is where sometimes you have this bickering and infighting happening, because then people assume that, oh, there is money, and so as a federation, if I want money, I have to write to GOC. GOC must at all costs give it to me. But they are, I mean, and I'm happy Farida is there. She sits at the administrative level. She communicates with ANOCA. She knows what report has to go into for ANOCA to release funding. She knows what the funding or the funds are supposed to be used for. She knows how GOC is supposed to make accounts to ANOCA to understand whether they qualify for the next tranche. These things you can sit outside and assume it is a roller coaster. It's something that is there, but it goes into, there's a lot, and Farida would explain to that. So anybody that wants to get into it, please just do that. But we should not antagonize a certain administration and say they did nothing. But I'm saying that at least when they went for the before the elected Congress, the other Congress, when the financial status of GHOne was made bare, and how much money has been saved for the future of GOC, none of the federations that are vying made any noise. So how can anybody assume there was no vision, and so there's going to be new vision? How can you not have a vision, but yet you have a vision to think about saving money for the next administration? Is that not a vision as well? So if I am saying that the old administration was a spendthrift or was just profligate by spending all the money, what would have been the situation and the other COFEX? What would have helped? I mean, what would have been there for the federations to now say that, oh, there's some amount of money for us to even rely on to use for other things? $500,000 is no chicken change for GOC to put down and say that when you come into office, this is what I have left, I'll bequeath for you, take advantage of it and work with it. So I think we have to be very mindful of how we intend to communicate our plans to the outside world. Whatever it is, we may disagree with certain policy directions, but whoever is at the helm of affairs also has a plan. It may not align with your plan, It may not align specifically what you want to do, but at the end of the day, we all have to come together to ensure that our poor athletes are well taken care of. And I believe that the next administration should begin to prioritize. I am an advocate of categorization of our federations in terms of how they are able to put things together in the next international event. A lot of our federations, yes, internally and locally, they are doing a lot, but it does not conform to what they intend to do going forward. We go for international meets, we don't perform. But locally, we are doing so much. But when we move out of our comfort zone to the next zone, we are found wanting. Like somebody mentioned, we don't have coaches, we don't have trainers, we don't have referees, we don't have all these things. And it affects us. So there's a need for us listen, we go to the Olympic Games and we locally look at our athletes. We have local coaches in Ghana, and then at the end of the day, we train the super zonal that we see all over, flying all over the place. It's exciting. But at the end of the day, are the coaches there in tune with modern trends of coaching? No. So national coaches for our athletes, we don't have them. Again, it has to do with National Sports Authority, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, and an advice or support from GHOne to ensure that we have all these individuals from the various federations coming together and say that I've nominated these individuals as those I want to be trained to help me. That is where the conversation should be. But we shouldn't think that there is some money at GHOne and some people don't want to release the money. And I think we need to find a way. But I am just hoping. And I've listened to the campaigns and everything that have gone on. And I said that everybody says it's smooth sailing. And I'm again happy when people say that, oh, this is the first time we are having an election with less acrimony, there's no bickering. The administration that is available now is the administration that didn't have vision by some people, but it's the same administration that's ensuring that for the first time, the election is smooth sailing. So let's begin to have a very positive conversation. And I think that all of us are going to be winners. I mean, nobody's going to be a loser, but whatever, look at the number of people who are vying for the various slots. Look at the numbers. And the people who are coming in, former parliamentary candidates, everybody is willing to come forward to present something. It tells you that there's some attractiveness that has been made available at GHOne that everybody that hitherto you wouldn't assume would want to make themselves available are now saying that I want to go to GHOne and help. Let us embrace them and see that positively we can sing a song that would bring us together. That for me is my most important point.
Counting has started. Interestingly, counting has started, and these are quite interesting moments. There, this is what we are all waiting for. And so, in some few minutes, we'll be giving you live updates as to what is happening at Accra International Conference Center, because voting has ended and then counting is about starting. Yes, so far. Okay, so I mean, I think a few associations yet to vote. So counting has not started. Voting. Let me just correct it. They're still voting. So I think a few of the federations left to vote, because some federations have 2 votes each. So yeah, I think now it's baseball voting. So I'm sure will be.
So they are still. I think it's not. They did it. It's just mixed up.
Oh, okay.
They didn't go according to alphabetical order or non-Olympic and Olympic.
Exactly. That way would have afforded us to know that. Yes. I mean, if it's alphabetical, we've gotten to probably Z.
Amateur would have started.
Exactly.
But now baseball is B, and cycling has already voted with C. Now it's baseball voting.
It's because your office is closed. If your office were open, I'm sure you would have handled this with ease.
I think in life you need to make progress. So
that's a pro bono for them.
You need to make
anyway, we heard a lot that Graham said, and I don't know if you share in most of the things he alluded to, Farida. With regards to some saying that the present administration really did not do enough in terms of getting funds and all that. He even sent me something that has to do with the grants that you were talking about, that most federations got. But then they never spoke about it. So as we say, most of them, we need a torchlight to check behind the curtains to see whether indeed the grants are there or not, and what have you. For you, are you of a different opinion with what Graham alluded to?
For me, I agree with him 100%. I always work with my references. I made a commentary when the mic started moving with the interviews. I'll tell you, no, this is the wrong person that is being interviewed. This is the wrong person that is being interviewed. The issue is that you might not like certain personality. It doesn't mean that his or her leadership role or his tenure might be bad. You are not my friend. I don't know you from Adam. But sports has made us to become family. I might not agree with your personality. People don't agree with the way I do my things. I didn't leave any Nima trait out of me. I still move with my Nima trait. You might not like me, Farida, but it doesn't mean that my work connect with my personality. You understand? So most of the interviewees I had, they are looking at the personality of Ben Nunu Mensah. And I'm going to say it here live on television. And anybody who is listening or watching me, I can debate with the person with evidence. Since the inception of the Ghana Olympic Committee, there has never been a president who has shared grants to more federations than what Ben Nunu Mensah did. None. You cannot debate that.
Wow.
You might have problem with his personality. I have a problem with certain things that he did. But it doesn't mean that his tenure or administration didn't do a great job. No. I can debate anybody, including all the interviewees that did. GHOne will give you money, but they will not tell you what you have to use your money for. Because they don't belong to your federations. They are not board members of your federation. You come to me, I need money to do residential campaign, and then you end up not doing the residential campaign. Do you blame the GHOne board? No. So the issue is that if we do not reorient ourselves and be passionate about the progress of the GHOne, as members of the GHOne, as stakeholders of the GHOne, even if Apokavi or Mike Agri come in, we will still be doing the same thing. People will still have issues with financial reports even when there is no issue. Because there are people like that. You understand? We should understand that we are there representing our federation and not our individual self. So you can have issues with Ben Nunu Mensah, but you ask yourself, did his administration do justice? I was privileged to see a lot of information in the previous administration. You see where grant went to. You see where grant went to.
And it was
you
that
see
transparent.
You will see where scholarship was given. And now you will see where scholarship was given. And every time at general congresses, I prepare the Olympic Solidarity Grant Report, because it was something the current General Secretary, which I can debate him on any day, was supposed to do but never did. So I did everything related to Olympic solidarity, although I wasn't supposed to do it. And I know who applied. Most of the times you see me interviewing most of the federation, and they'll tell you, this girl thinks she's stubborn. Because I do not underestimate research.
That's it.
Every competition we go to, I write my personal report to evaluate. So I remember meeting the chief director currently in the old administration, telling him that, Chief Director, I am telling you on authority, no boxer will qualify for Paris 2024 games. And he was asking me why. I said it's A, B, C, D, E, F. It means that the ministry doesn't have data. NSA doesn't have data. Joe, we are sick and tired of government agency and government always coming out like us, talking about issues. What are you doing to solve the problem? Athletes are suffering. someone has taken sports as his livelihood. So it is incumbent upon us to make sure that the path that they've chose, they should get it and benefit.
Okay, so Farida, I like the submission you're making, but then viewers, for your information, they are sorting out the votes now. So as it stands, this is what we've been waiting for. This is what we've been, just waiting to see. Voting is ended. They are now sorting it out to know where and which place is going to and what have you. So just like the elections, right? When you get it's a long one, then you know who you are voting for. If it's the first vice president, okay, so the first and second are not, but the third vice president, you vote for him. If it's the president, you know who you are voting for and what have you. So Monica and Benghazi are currently standing by to give us more on what really is ensuing. Then we come back to the studio. Farida and Derek is here, and Jones is also joining me in the studio. We'll be giving us some facts and figures you need to know about Ghana's performance so far at the Olympics and whether this will change after the elections has been held. So let's go over to the Accra International Conference Center now. Benghazi and Monica, you can take over if you can hear me.
It's been done by the officials who are in charge of the elections and the voting process here. And so they have begun with the sorting, first of all, for the various candidates. And then, so what they'll be doing is they'll sort out the various positions that indeed they have candidates vying for, on which votes were done here. And so when they are done with the sorting for the candidates, then the vote counting will also begin for these various positions. So we've been told that there were supposed to be 65 delegates in total to vote, but only 62 turned out to vote because we had two major disciplines not getting their registration early, so they were not allowed to vote. So those disciplines were sports. That's what currently is being sorted, as you can see now. And so the counting is being done for the 5 board members they need to select from the Olympic sports section. And so that's what it is. The sorting and accounting being done. So it's been keenly monitored, as you can see, by the delegates of the various candidates, if I can call them that. Live on GHOne TV, live also on Star FM, a special coverage of the GOC elections. And so only 5 persons will be selected onto the board from the Olympic sport, but we had about 8 contenders, so 7 actually contenders were contending for the slots, but only 5 will make it onto the board for the Olympic sport. And so, as you can see with some of the ballots, you see a number of thumb prints on a number of boxes on the same sheet. So each delegate had to select 5 on the 8th, and so that's what it is currently is being done. And then on the other side as well, you have that of the non-Olympics sports. That is what is also on the other side now on your screens. So that counting is ongoing for the non-Olympic sport. So you can see there is only 2 who were indeed contending, and only 1 will make it. So the counting is almost done. It's done actually on that side. The counting for the Olympic sport is done. So I'm sure we will find out a winner very soon for that particular bit. So back to the Olympic sports. Counting is still ongoing because they had quite a number. And so that obviously takes some time for the sorting and counting to be done. So that is what is ongoing. The counting is being done. So what they do is that when they pick a ballot paper, they now need to check and count the number of persons who have voted on that ballot paper, tabulate that, and ensure that when they are done with all the counting of all the papers, then they put together the numbers of the candidates and how many votes each one of them got, so they can arrive at the final 5 that will make it onto the board, the GOC board for the Olympic sport. So for the Olympic sport, that one is done, counting is done, so we're getting the results very soon from that end. But for now, we are focusing on the bit for the Olympic sport, where the sorting has been done. So the candidates were 8 actually, in total 8 were vying for
the slots, but only 5 are going to make it. And so, like you can see in your shots, that is what you are seeing in the shots now. So I want you to have a shot of the ballot paper and how it looks like. You see, there it is on your shots now. So for each ballot paper, you have a number of thumb printed, if you like, a number of thumb prints. Because like I keep saying, of the 8 on the paper, each delegate had to vote for 5 of them. And so like you can see in there, they are counting each of the 5 on each ballot paper. That is what it is they are doing, as you can see in your shots at the moment. This is all live on GHOne TV, live on Star FM as well. Is the GOC elections. Counting now being done for the board members onto the GOC board for the Olympic sport. Some of the candidates who were prominent in there include the General Secretary for the GFA, Prosper Harrison Addo Esquire. He was contending for a slot for football, from football. So we'll see if indeed he gets onto the board. So the counting still being done. So the voting began quite early in the morning, and we've been on till now, live on GHOne TV. Now the voting is done, and now counting is being done. I'm sure in the next hour, at most, we will be done with the counting for all the various votes. So the counting is ongoing. We'll have to count for each until they get to the very final, which will be the presidential elections, which of course have 2 individuals vying for the position. We're live on GHOne TV still. Counting still being done for the GOC elections. Let me
So my colleagues Benjamin Yamwa and Monica Bukari currently at the Accra International Conference Center. They are observing counting that is currently underway. Voting has ended. Counting is underway. They're done sorting. They're counting most of the ballots now. But Ben, I know there are different places they are counting different things. This might be the Olympic sport. How about the non-Olympic? If you can pick from there, what is really happening with the non-Olympics? If they are done, who has won, and what are you picking from that particular bench also?
So we'll be getting the results for the non-Olympic in no time. The counting has been done, is complete for the non-Olympic sport, because only 2 were vying for that slot. And so it was easier with the counting and the sorting. So that bit is done. We'll be getting the results very soon from that end. Meanwhile, the counting for the other slots is being done, like you can see in your shots currently. What you see now is the counting for the Olympic sport. 5 persons who are going to make it onto the board. Like 8 were competing or contesting for the slots. But as it stands now, we are just waiting to get to the 5 people actually who will make it onto the Olympic board. So, Joel, we'll get you the result in no time. My colleague Monica Bukari and Winter are currently on that desk sorting out the results so we can bring it to our viewers live on GHOne TV. Let me just hand you the results as we have it for that particular bit. So for the one slot for the non-Olympic, this is the results. Abdul Hai Yate, he pulled some 28 votes. Then we had George Owusu Ansah, who pulled 34 votes. Valid votes 62, rejected 1. So as it stands now, George Owusu Ansah seemed to have picked the slot, the only slot for the non-Olympic sport, with 34 votes. 3-4 votes ahead of Abdul Hai Yate, who pulled 28 votes. That is the results for the GOC one non-Olympic slot on the board. That's the results live on GHOne TV and also live on Star FM. EIB sports coverage of the GOC elections. So we will get that bit for you. You can quickly jump onto our social media handles to follow every bit of the coverage live on GHOne TV, on X, on Facebook, on YouTube. We're live. We'll be getting you the results as and when they trickle in, and as you also follow and watch everything for yourself right here on GHOne TV. We're live at the International Conference Center, where the elections for the GOC has been on for some hours now, and currently we're having the counting and sorting being done for the various positions for which elections were held this morning, of course now afternoon.
Sure. Ben, so as it stands now, we know Nana Mankata is now, okay, so he's a chief, so that's Nana Mankata for all sports. He is now the one who stood with Hayate, and he's been adjudged, or officially or unofficially, we can say that he's now the one who's won that particular one.
Absolutely, we can say that for a fact. Other results we have stipulated, he managed to pull 34 votes, which means he had 6 more than Abdul Hayate, who had 28 of the votes. So unofficial, like you said, he is the person who has picked a slot for the non-Olympic sport. So that we can confirm that on GHOne TV.
All right, so there's Nana Mankata there, and Nana Mankata is one of the people who interestingly has been following Richie Dakukawi. How the pendulum will be swinging is what I'm asking now, Ben. And what are you picking with reaction so far from him having won this particular one? I mean, is it one in there already looking likely that Akokabi is on the stead of something?
Well, I mean, the gentleman I just mentioned is sitting directly in front of me, but he's, as always, very concentrated, very pensive, trying to monitor how things are going, because we'll get to his very, very soon. That's the very ultimate, the presidency of the GOC elections, and so we'll get to that. But he's just in front of us in here. He won't speak though, but I can describe to you he is quite relaxed, monitoring affairs going on currently here at the conference center here in Accra. I'm sure very soon you get a view of how he's looking. You'll see it for yourself on the screens very, very soon. But I'm still live on GHOne TV, live on Star FM, and we are live also on our social media handles, on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, all our handles, GHOne TV, Star FM. So we'll get you every bit of what you need to know as you follow and get you coverage of the GOC elections. It's the Ghana Olympic Committee elections, a very huge entity when it has to do with sports development in Ghana. And today is a day we get to find out who takes over from Uncle Ben Nunu Mensah, who has been in charge of the GOC for the better part of 8 years now. So the question is, who takes over the slot? Will it be Richard Akpokavi Esquire or Michael Adum Agre? In the next few hours, if not minutes, we'll be very much undated and we'll get to know who picks up that slot.
Sure. All right, Ben, thank you very much. We'll definitely come back to you again, and Monica and the team that are currently based at the Accra International Conference Center. But in studio here with me now, Jones Aji. We are outside. He joins me in the studio. Just some facts that you need to know about Ghana's performance so far at the Olympics is what he's bringing us. So let's go over to Jones. Jones, who is your eye on? I mean, you've heard so far. We started with the coverage. Monica and Benjamin bringing us all the updates and what have you. We see Nana Mankata. He's with Richard Apokavi. They say they are his two ICs. Yeah. He's gotten a nod so far. I mean, who do you think this might be swinging to?
Well, you actually spoke about the name Apokavi, and I agree there. We just actually want someone who can get us to the LA 2028 and get us some medals. You know, it was sad the last time that boxing was not part, and it was just a disappointment. So we just want someone who can get us to LA. I don't want to stick my neck out there. What if he loses?
But what's the meaning of Apokavi?
Akpo. So it's more of a hunchback. Akpoka. Elevide is small. So a small hunchback.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Anyway.
Yes.
All right.
Let's get enough of the LA lessons.
Sure.
And let's get to some statistics. So for those who don't know so much about the Olympics, well, we'll tell you about how far Ghana has come and what we've been doing so far at the Olympics. Let's start off from when we made our first appearance at the Olympics in 1952. So even before independence, yes, it tells you that the Olympics is something that Ghana has so much in, and that before independence in 1952, we made our first appearance there. And total Olympic appearances, we've had 19 total Olympic appearances, and of course we've seen 351 athletes represent Ghana at the Olympics. And for our recent Olympics in Paris, where Monica reported live, of course, well, we saw 7 athletes, 5 gentlemen and 2 ladies represent Ghana at the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. And then, well, in total, we've had 1 silver and then 4 bronze medals from the Olympic Games. Now, let's quickly move on to the next one and talk boxing. Yes, my boss is here, and his favorite. It has always been our pride, and it is one of the dominant sides of the sport that has taken us to the Olympics. And well, interestingly, we were not there last year, but then out of 5, well, we've seen 4 of our medals coming in from boxing, and it shows that it is a discipline that we would need to invest so much in if we really want to go to LA in 2028. And then football, well, sports minister says that sports is not just about football, but trust me, football also dominating here, and we actually won bronze in Spain in 1992. Now let's get to the medals and see our gallant athletes who have actually won us some medals. Yes, well, Clement Corte won us boxing in 1960 in Italy, and it's just good that we can go all the way back to 1960 and mention the name of Clement Corte, who won us silver in boxing there. And then Eddie Blay. Well, Joe, if you get to the Olympic House, his pictures, these gallant athletes have their pictures right at the Olympic House there. And then Eddie Blay also won as bronze in 1964, yes, in Tokyo. And Prince Amate also won as bronze in boxing again, yes, in Germany in 1972. And then football got us bronze, yes, as I said earlier, in Spain, Barcelona 1992. A lot of people remember that one very, very, very well. And football getting us bronze there. And then finally, a recent one, a young man who has the dyed hair, the Gen Z boxer got us a bronze medal in boxing again in 2020 in Tokyo. And it is something that our president, outgoing president, Mr. Ben Mensah prides himself in so much that yes, indeed, Samuel Techi could get us boxing in there. Let's finally.
Before you go, you were talking about if we bring it back.
Yeah.
You were talking about the likes of those who've won this medal. So Clement Aikwote Senior.
Yeah.
That is what most people need to know. The disparity there. We have Aikwote, Ike Bazooka Kwote, who's won several, belts in boxing. But this is a senior brother. He passed on, and people were trying to find out whether it was Aikwote who's passed on. But this is Clement Aikwote Senior, and he won as the first medal. So even that first medal was silver. And after he winning silver, we've not won any silver again. Even for football, the likes of Kwame Ayew, Isaac Asare. I'm not sure you were following football then, Jones. But then, he was born though, but then he wasn't following Ghana football keenly then. But then, Kwame Ayew, if you knew him, he had that rasta on. He got us 3 goals in a particular game Ghana played at the 92 games. Barcelona, Yapreko was in there. Barcelona 92 was just a sight to behold, a spectacle. So that's why you know that following them, and then also talking about in latter days, Samuel Techi. After Samuel Techi again, it's somewhat seemed to be a coincidence, because it was in Tokyo again that Eddie Blay got us a bronze medal in boxing, and then we went back again in Tokyo, and then we got a bronze medal in boxing. How is it looking like? LA has hosted this before. We are not going to Munich or Barcelona to win a title. Are we sure we'll go to LA and we'll get something there?
Joe, we'll break the jinx. I think
let's see if we can
Farida is here. You never know. Swimming might get us our next medal. And I mean, yes. Because I know that Derek.
You've not gotten there yet.
You've not gotten there yet. You never know what happened. But then I think that in the past years, we've seen athletics. A lot of interest has come from athletics, especially with 100 meters, the 4x100 and all that. And a lot of disappointment from Ghanaians when we could not make it probably to the finals or the semi-finals at the last Olympics. Now let's end off with the athletes who made the 2024 Paris Olympics, and Joseph Polamwa, who was part of the 4x100 relay event, and Benjamin Azamati. Yes, the name is Azamati, not Azameti. And he also was part of the team there. Rashid Saminu, also part of the 4x100 relay team. Isaac Bochio, also part, and then Edwin Ganayi. Joel, all these,
Edwin,
and then let's see.
Edwin was in part.
Edwin wasn't part.
Edwin wasn't part of this.
Husseini and Ibrahim Azamati qualified with an individual event. But the rest got in there because of the
4x100.
So Rashid qualified with 100 and 200 meters, and they scratched him out of 200, and he only ran 100 meters with Azamati. But the rest were doing the relay.
Part of the relay team. Yes. And Rose Awenima Yebua with high jump.
That's
I can't find my swimmers.
they would have come. But then this is one person we should really look at and then invest in. Rosa Mwenuma Yebua. She is one high jumper Ghana should really invest in. And we've got a triple jumper who also could not come represent Ghana. She is also based there. Deborah won
she's out.
So let's try and then cross over Jones now to Monica and Benjamin Nyamwa.
Three others.
Sure. With Benjamin Nyamwa and Monica now. We hear voting. Counting is done. Counting is done. Let's go over to the Accra International Conference Center now. Benjamin and Monica, if you can tell us what currently is going on. Counting is done. Is declaration going to be made soon?
Well, thank you very much, Joel. Welcome back. So indeed, counting for that has just been done. I'll just be relaying the final results to you for the Olympic sports. And let me just run by you the numbers as it is. You know that only 5 out of the 8 who are contesting will be getting themselves onto the GHOne board for the Olympic sport. So let me just run by you the figures as they are, raw as they are. So in no particular order, George Lamte pulled 34 votes. Delphina Okwe pulled 53 votes. Prosper Harrison Addo pulled 28 votes. Richmond Rexford Kweku pooled 46 votes. Albert Che Frempong pooled 14 votes. We had George Tete pooling 44 votes. Benjamin K.D. Asante pooled 32 votes. So that's the results we have for now. Like I said, only 5 are making it onto the board. So as it stands now, I can tell you that Delphina Okwe, 53 votes will make it. We also have got Richmond Rexford Kweku, 46 votes, also will make it. George Tete with 44 votes also will make it onto the board. And then also we're going to have Benjamin K.D. Asante, before him, George Lamte, 34 votes also making it onto the board. And then that makes 4. The 5th will have to be the last one in Benjamin K.D. Asante with 32 votes. From the results I have in here, looks as though these 5 persons are going to be the ones who will make it from the Olympic sport onto the GHOne board. So that's what it is we have in here. Interesting results trickling in live on GHOne TV and also on our affiliate. So let me actually repeat. So let me get to the final results. So actually it is elected first Delphina Kwe, 53 votes. Second position is Kamal Sule. He pulled 50 votes, 50 votes. He made it. Next in line is Richmond Rexford Kweku on 46, also has made it. The next in line is George Tete on 44, also has made it. Then also we have George Lamte, 34, also making it in there. So these 5, I repeat the names in the order on the votes or with the votes: Delphina Kwe, Kamal Sule, Richmond Rexford Kweku. Then we have also George Tete, George Lamte. These 5, as you can listen to us live on GHOne TV, are the ones who have made it. As it stands now, unofficially though, because we are waiting for declaration, but unofficially, these are the persons, 5 of them, who have made it through the voting done here today to the Olympic or the GHOne board from the Olympic sport. Results there for you live on GHOne TV, live also on Star FM, with our coverage of the GHOne elections currently ongoing at Independence Conference Center, live on GHOne TV and also on Star FM here in Accra. So over to you guys, Joel. We are still monitoring for now. The other, if you like, positions, the counting and sorting will begin, and then we'll let you in on the results that come as and when it comes around. I'm still here with my colleagues, Monica, Bukari, of course, Winter, and all of them are in here. Monica, you have been observing the process as well here. What do you make of the counting and sorting done so far at the GHOne elections?
Well, Benghazi, like previously, like we all know, where there's sometimes chaos, today we all came and we saw things moving amicably. Even during the sorting, you see just the polling agents for the various candidates coming to monitor the process, and it's been calm. Now they are signing to prove that yes, they agree to the counting or the sorting that has been done and the numbers gotten. So not really much of negativity is happening here. Everything is in good cause. In no time they will declare exactly who won the presidency and the other nominations as well. So we'll bring you the feed in no time.
So very much soon we'll let you in on the others as and when they come.
All right, Monica and Benghazi, thank you so much for the updates. Well, you can count on us here at GHOne TV and also at EIB to give you nothing but the best and up to the minute. You need to know whatever you need to know with regards to the Ghana Olympic Committee. We are bringing you this unprecedented one. Well, just for purposes of clarification also, the GHOne elections has not been characterized with, violence. So let's get that right, because before they come at me, there's one here already who is
yes, before 2021.
So, exactly,
yes,
before 2021,
a lot of things, but from 2021, I think lawyer Odufo had an excellent election in 2021 March, and this one too, you can see lawyer GHOne is also giving us an excellent one.
Sure.
Before then, yes, it was chaotic, unconstitutional thing, politics involved. But from 2021 till now, I believe that the stakeholders have shown that yes, we can do better, and we are showing the world that we represent our sports in the best possible way.
Exactly. We saw. So in your shots actually is the man, Mr. Richard Akpokavier,
yes,
Esquire. Akpokavier Esquire. He's calmly checking. I don't know who is chatting. I'll also send him a message pretty soon. He's calmly checking a few messages. I'm sure people are just telling him you are live on GHOne TV.
We'll send him a picture and tell him that we see him.
Just take it easy. We know. Listen, Mr. Akpokavier and Mike Agri. What we all need is for us to see a united front. What we all need is for us to see a very transparent front, and also a front that is ready to carry on good governance in our various federations. So it's not really about the personality who wins or who does not. The most important thing is to see most of these federations help develop these talents for us to listen. You see the likes of China winning so many medals.
They
plan. You see the likes of Japan winning so many medals when they hosted it. Why? Because they planned. What are we doing? So this is just the beginning. There's a new wave. There's a new era that we're hoping to see soon, because there's going to be a new president after 8 years that Benunu Mensah was in power. So counting is done, which we've shown you here, and only here in Ghana and across the world. Those watching us on Facebook, wherever you need to know what is happening with the Ghana Olympic Committee elections, we are giving it to you only live on TV, online, and on radio here in Ghana. You can count on us at EIB to give you nothing but the best. We're live. Yeah, so
his own agent.
A few of the videos also that there on the screen. But let me come to boxing, Derek. You've seen what has ensued so far. I've seen George Lante there with regards to boxing. For you, does it bring a sort of relief to boxing, getting him on to the board?
Yeah, I'm already elated. Yesterday I was with him and I prayed that he is so true. So he was my senior at Accra. He's a blood already, and he's mentored me in a way. Yeah. So I'm so happy for him, and then that's personally. And then Farida was just talking about his contribution to sports in general.
Really
when athletes are moving out, he works with the immigration, he's a security, aviation, he's a security, they think there, and he ensures. In fact, yesterday we were with Oli Gabeto, only one of the boxers who went to Riyadh and won, and it was full of praise for him. He said, when you get to the airport, smoothly you say
all you need to do is still Ratu.
Yeah, the man, Ratu. He will it's already service. He's calm, he's collected, he's support. So he will continue to bring that to the GOC and any sports person going through that. The third point is about he being a boxing person. We need somebody who will tell our story. We need somebody who is in there. And he's not just a boxing person, but he was a former president of the GBF. So he understands. I mean, yesterday he was advising me to start taking some courses in boxing. So yes, he knows where to go and what to do, and I believe that with this it will help him to bring a lot of more people on board. We talk about officials.
Sure.
I think Graham spoke about it. I said it and Graham picked it. You see, it looks like the athletes. Farida, I believe whatever she's doing, she has gone through the mill and learned it on her own. I believe so. We need a lot of people who will learn the various places, know what, when you take the torchlight and you don't know where to look at, you will just be, moving around. So we need people who know where to take the torchlight to dig deep and find out what is there, so that, and then just it will also not be just seeing or knowing what is there, but the ability to go through the process to get it, so that everybody will benefit. So for me, I'm so elated. George Lamte is there, and I wish him well. I believe that whatever he's done, if you look, he just slipped in. He was the last of the 5. It tells him that he must do just more than what he's doing, so that in future perhaps he will be the first or the second and not be the last of the 5. So there is work to do, and I love what Farida said. It must not be only the presidency. It must not only be the president. We must all contribute, even those of us in the media. We must criticize constructively. Graham also said something. I have a problem in Ghana where when you want to come and do what somebody is doing, the best way to come is to destroy. Even when the person has done something well. Graham is talking about $500,000.
Yes.
I believe that you have also
the surplus that was left.
Yes, you have also talked about the kind of support the outgoing administration has given to federations and stuff. We will not hear that. All we hear, they are corrupt, they are corrupt, they are corrupt. And we ask these people, where is the corruption?
Whose money is missing?
And whose money is missing? And you know, one thing I always say, what is the definition of corruption?
Yes.
Somebody who is doing public service work. These people, they are not doing public service work.
No salary.
So if you say the person is doing corruption, then you don't even know what you are talking about. You understand? But that is the way we do. Instead of punching holes to what the person is doing and suggesting better ways of doing it, we will destroy the demeanor, the persona, instead of the issues. And I think that we must move away. For I love what the both contestants, the presidents, I'm not seeing them attacking each other. They are super gentlemen, and I believe that what we all want, yes, after this particular elections, we want to see them coming together and helping Ghana sports. All sports are almost within the GHOne, so that we'll see them united, and then we'll move Ghana sports even forward. One thing I also, when your brother was going through the people who are going through the election, the contestants, we got to the treasurer, and I have a problem. I was asking myself, are these people with some accounting, treasury background? And that is a problem. I see a lot of problems when we put people at places they don't know their whereabouts. If you put somebody in the treasury role, where the person does not know what debit and credit is, when the person cannot do basic income and expenditure to explain. You see, normally, I think when it comes to figures, when it comes to accounting, when you don't account, it's a crime. So if the person knows what to do, when it's even accounting and there is a problem, you can even say, oh, you didn't do this well, next time don't do it. But you have a problem where people are called treasurers and they don't account at all. But I'm happy that, and I think Graham also said it, we saw better accounting with the outgoing.
IOC insists
exactly.
You employ a professional accountant at the office. So it's able to complement even if your treasurer doesn't have a deep understanding of accounting.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It is mandatory.
It is very, very important. It
and
is
they
very,
have
very
their
important.
training.
But that is where our problem comes to. I have always said, you bring the accounting. If it's not good, then we can say that, oh, no, this one is not good. The last time we spent this, you have not catered for it in your accounting. Sure. This one is this. You have not done it. Oh, this one is too much. It was not what we. Now with basic, maybe invoices and you understand. We need to be doing this so that notion that when you take a position, all you do is to chop money and also, I mean, let's not destroy what we are all around, because when you destroy, somebody is looking at your back tomorrow when you are also there, and that will be the order of the. I think that we must respect each other, talk about issues. I believe that elections are over. Whoever will be elected will do the right thing so that we move the GHOne forward.
All right, moving the GHOne forward is what Derek is expecting, but we'll be crossing over to the Accra International Conference Center pretty shortly to join my colleagues Benjamin Yamwa and Monica Bukari, who are currently there to give us all the updates as to what currently is going on, whether the voting for the others are also done. Then we'll be updating you on that as well. So we're done with those who are going to be going onto the board, actually. So we brought it to you. We'll be highlighting the names to you pretty soon also for you to see on the screen. But let me come to Farida before we join Monica and Benjamin Yamwa at the Accra International Conference Center. Farida, I want us to look at funding, especially when we're going for competitions. Why should that be the bane of issues rather than preparing athletes for because everybody's attention then is how much are we going with, rather than how well prepared are we going to participate in this one to even get to a podium. That's what I want to really. Is there a thin disparity there, and what are we supposed to do with this new administration coming in?
I think the two are really connected because, and then I always say that ministry, NSA, GOC. I think that as federation, we should go outside of it. Last time I was having a private chat with you, and I told you that on Monday, Ghana Swimming will be traveling to Egypt for the African Junior Championship, with 8 swimmers. With interaction with some of the parents, some athletes, 4 of them are sponsored by GSA, and then 4 are self-sponsored by their own parents and what have you. So as national federations, what are you doing to also help your athletes? Because GOC comes in when there are games getting closer. That is when funds are allocated to them, and these are restrictive funds that has conditions attached to it. There are some federation, even till GOC is rolled up, they will never be eligible for any funding, although they are stakeholders of the GOC, because there are conditions you have to satisfy to get those fundings. I will tell federations that look at your team. Let me take swimming for example. We do not get up to compete in any election. We don't do that. We rather invest in our local competitions, because when you do that, you give them better preparations. But other federations today, you see them going there knowing very well that they don't have a team, and that funding that they use to travel with, that funding could have organized a nationwide competition for you to get strong talent and then move them from the grassroots to the elite. And then for elite athletes who are eligible to participate at this international competition, you give them exposure by exposing them for various competitions. If you don't do that, ministry will give you $100,000, GOC will give you $100,000. There will never be any result. So federations, now the IOC give grant to international federations. If you are a national federation, you don't go to congresses, you don't do programs, you don't have good governance structure in your federation, you will not be eligible for one city.
And we have federations like that.
Yes, because no federation on this earth now is not eligible to receive any grant from the international federation. If they are not receiving now, Joel, I'm telling you that it is because of the leadership, or it's because of how they manage it.
This is serious, and
because
the Olympic sports has money. We don't get sponsorship, we don't get funding, but then the mother associations are funding.
You have a questionnaire. The questionnaire will ask you your structures. Do you have females? I think my master's thesis for my master's program was on women representation at the board. I can tell you on authority, let's put rugby aside, they have their controversies. Swimming is the only federation that has a female president, and it is the only federation that has 65% of women on the board. Wow. In the whole country. And so at any point in time when you are answering the questionnaire, you get the point. Athlete representation, GHOne doesn't even have athletes on their board. A lot of federations don't have athletes on their board.
And it's supposed to be.
That is what will give you money. Some are supposed to compete at their world championship. Swimming, for instance, I told the Minister of Sport, search in all your registry. You will hardly find swimming letters every year because we won't come and request for funds when we have funds available.
That's it.
Because at every world championship, at least we know we have 2 athletes that have been sponsored by World Aquatic and 2 officials. That's 1 team leader and 1 coach. So we are going to Egypt, fully sponsored by the GSA, Ghana Swimming Association, from April 30th to 5th May. And then we are going to Singapore in July, fully sponsored by the Ghana Swimming Association. Nobody's money is there. We've already prepared. We've paid our accommodation, paid our flight, and we'll get some support from our world body. We are going to the World Junior Championship in August. It will be fully sponsored by Ghana Swimming Association because I know the ministry will tell you no money. But in this all competition we are participating in, at the back of our mind, we are preparing these same athletes for the Youth Olympics in Senegal next year, for Commonwealth Games next year, and then preparing them for the Olympics in 2028. Abeoku, amongst all countries, was the only proper black man who went to the semi-finals at the Olympics in Birmingham 2022. You know, so it shows that at least without ministry, without GHOne, the National Federation is doing something. So when you take your letter to the ministry or the GHOne, I'm sure they feel very proud to support you. So before we start criticizing GHOne and ministry, let us start analyzing ourselves. Are we doing the right thing? Are we on the right path? Are we doing what we said we believe in? That is athlete development, athlete representation, good governance. Are we doing that?
That's interesting. Anyway, so before I'll come to Derek though, but then I gather the counting is still underway. They will be doing that of presidents soon, and so let's do this for the benefit of those who do not know both who are standing for the presidential race. I'm talking about Mr. Richard Akpokavie Esquire and Mike Agri. We had an interview with both of them. Let's check it out. When we are done, when we come back, we'll link over to Monica and Benjamin Yamwa at the Accra International Conference Center.
Issa has stepped now. Let me now take up the mantle.
Okay, thanks very much. Now, first of all, I've been a part of the Olympic movement for quite a while, and in the last 8 years I've served on the board. So when Ben made a decision not to continue his presidency, I felt that the time had come for one to rise up to the mantle and take on the presidency. First and foremost, to build on legacy. And also, it's founded on the basis that I'm looking for unification in the leadership of sports in this country. I think that our front has been fragmented for too long, and that has thwarted the development that we all desire. So those are the 2 main reasons why I stepped up.
I see.
The vision is as I've said, first and foremost, I'm looking at unifying the leadership front of sports in this country. It is the only way that we'll go back to winning ways. One of the key cornerstones of that vision is youth and women empowerment. I'm sure you'll be glad to hear that I am an advocate for gender balance and gender equality. And as we speak, the IOC president has recently been voted as president, and she's an African woman, for that matter. And for me, that speaks volumes for the kind of things that we want to do for sports, both in this country and the world over. So youth development and women empowerment is very, very important to me. Athlete welfare, it's also key. If their welfare is taken for granted, then naturally they cannot excel. We want our athletes to go up to the global level and win. So my key goal is for us to go back to winning ways. I make reference to the fact that the recent elections that were held in this country did not provide as much euphoria in this country as the win that the Black Stars had over Madagascar and Chad recently. It is sports that brings excitement to this country. It is sports that develops and grows our morale. And if morale is good, development will come as a natural consequence. So for me, it is important that we go back to our winning ways. These are the cornerstones of my
There are a few things which I think can be done better. The first thing is athlete involvement in what we do. We're supposed to have an athletes commission because the IOC insists that athletes' voices must be heard.
Must be heard.
They are those who are really the people who are involved in this sport. We are not hearing their voices as much as we should in Ghana yet. So one of the first things we should do is organize in such that the athletes' voices are heard, not only at Congress and in the media, but in the boardroom where we have meetings to take decisions, in committees where we are planning to implement decisions, so their voices will be heard everywhere. So that's one of the first things I think we should do. Number two, for some reason, there seems to be some disunity among the federations.
Okay.
And when you are not united as one voice, when you go out there, you have problems.
Yeah.
There's no sponsor who, when he reads about all kinds of challenges in the media with federations, would come to your aid. So we need to come as a united force. We must be one voice speaking for sports federations in Ghana. And one of my main aims is to make sure that there's that unity. We have one plan, and that's another thing we must do. We must all go sit down, all of us, frank with ourselves. What is it that we can do better? What are our challenges? Every federation. And then we draw a plan, a 4-year plan. So that the 4-year plan has clear KPIs.
Yeah.
What do we want to achieve? Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. How do we achieve them? What is the budget attached to that plan? And then we are really implementing that. So that at every point in time, we are reviewing what we are doing and monitoring what we are doing, see what we can do better. Funding is one of the main problems of it. But one of the main reasons why funding is not available is because there is no country in the world that survives on a consolidated fund to fund sports fully. It doesn't happen anywhere. Even in rich countries like US, UK, Australia, South Africa, the government cannot fully.
Our continuous coverage of the GOC elections, or the Ghana Olympic Committee elections, that is live from our studios. We're going over to the Accra International Conference Center where all the action is happening. My colleagues Monica Bukari and Benjamin Nyamwa are live there to give you the updates. I'm picking some updates here. I mean, you know, Farida is, updated with a lot of things. So we'll get to the grounds to find out from Benjamin and Monica what really is going on there and what next should we expect with the elections and the counting that is underway. But Farida, let's look at this briefly before we cross over to them at the Accra International Conference Center. Were you surprised that the Secretary General for the Ghana Football Association, Prosper Harrison Nado, and also KB Asante not being able to sail through, because these are the two who could not make it onto that. Okay, so we got the assistant treasurer. Is being counted. This is just between two people, right?
Three.
Okay, these three people. So it should be
Neil and Tay.
Yes, I like that one.
Neil and Tay and Bernard.
And then you have
Bernard is also from. Please tell them. There's no this one and this one.
So here you have basketball, amateur boxing, and handball.
That's interesting. So yes, currently on your screens, you're seeing live pictures from the Accra International Conference Center. Is now the deputy treasurer role that is being keenly contested by three individuals. How is it going to go like, and who is going to win that nod? Well, so Farida, I was asking you what you thought about the GS for the FA Ghana Football Association not sailing through, and also Ben Asante, Ghana Gas, he also could not make it through. He was representing hockey, and then we saw Prosper Harrison-Ado representing football. But before that, let me go over to my colleague Benjamin Yamwa right now to give us just updates on what is currently going on and what viewers are seeing on their screen. Ben, if you can hear me, are the rest done, and what we have currently going on?
So we are done with the board members. Sorting, counting declaration has been done like we got on GHOne. What you see on your screens currently now, we've begun sorting out assistant treasurers' votes. So we've now moved on to the assistant treasurer of the GOC. So the EC officials are now sorting out the papers, from where then the counting will begin for the assistant treasurer of the GOC elections. And so that is what you see currently in your shots, keenly being observed by the various agents or the candidates who are vying for the assistant treasurer position. So in fact, only 3 candidates are vying for assistant treasurer position here. And so I'm sure the sorting and counting will not take that long a time, because only 3 are vying for that slot. And so very soon, when you're done with the sorting of the various votes, the counting will begin, and then we'll let our listeners and our viewers in on exactly how and who would have won what other elections. But I mean, generally, let me give you an overview of how things are looking out here. It's been very calm. I mean, very, very calm since the voting came to an end. The sorting and counting has been ongoing. Even for the board members, when the sorting and counting was being done, everything was generally calm in here, and not so much, untoward actions or, if you like, movements in here. Everything is calm. People are having conversations in 2s and 3s, monitoring how things are going on. So it's been generally good as it stands now. So there it is. You see on your screens now the sorting for assistant treasurer being done as we speak at the moment. And let me hand over to my colleague, Monica Bukari, to interact with one of the delegates as well, who was contesting for a spot here as well, who is in here with us.
Yeah, Joel, we are still here at the Accra International Conference Center. Thank you, Benghazi, for that commentary. Earlier on, we spoke to one of the delegates here who stood for Rafiatu Inusa. She stood for rugby and triathlon as well. Well, she contested with 8 others, but presently when their votes were counted, she stood out and she came out first. Congratulations, Rafiatu.
Thank you very much.
How do you feel?
I think I'm happy not only for me, for myself, for all women in Ghana. We need to push women inclusivity and equity among ourselves in sports. And I believe that being on the board of the Ghana Olympic Committee, I'm going to contribute and push the agenda of women inclusivity and fairness towards us.
Now, you stood with 8 others contesting for your position. Tell us, did you see it coming?
Basically, not really, but I know that, first of all, I would like to thank all the delegates who voted for me. I'm very grateful, but I know that they believed in whatever I'm doing, and they know with them I'll be able to contribute to the development of sports in Ghana.
Well, sometimes we see some of the delegates or candidates win the election, but at the end of the day, we don't see much effort from them on the board of the committee. This time around, is there going to be a change since you are coming in as one of the women promoting women's sports as well for the very first time?
I'm sure. I think a lot of the delegates that voted know that they are all men. Majority, 99% are men, and therefore they also believe in the agenda for women, and I don't think they are going to take it lightly. Now, the International Olympic Committee, the president is a woman. Coventry is a woman, and I get my inspiration from day one. When she won, I was like, wow. So this is not for me to just have the position, but to use this position to change life, to change how we are seen in terms of women's sports. And I'm here today not only for Ghana Rugby and Triathlon, but for all women. I should be seen in most of women's activities to monitor and to make sure that women are treated fairly and also given chance to also contribute to the development of sports in Ghana.
Wow, I like that. So we'll certainly see development of women in Ghana sports as well. The Rafia too in place, pushing the agenda. We say congratulations to you and many thanks for joining us here on GHOne TV.
Thank you very much. The name is Rafatu Inusa.
So there is no I in there, Rafatu.
Rafatu Inusa.
Right, Rafatu Inusa. Yeah. Many thanks and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
So yeah, we are still here. I'll hand over to Benghazi now, who will give us the commentary of exactly what's still going on with the counting here at the Accra International Conference Center.
Thank you very much, Monica Bukari, interacting with Rafatu. So the sorting and counting for the Assistant Treasurer just got done, and the figures have been put together as it stands now. In all, 58 votes were cast. 63 votes rather were cast. Out of that, it looks as though we have a winner, but we need to get the EC, the one in charge of the EC here, return officer, to get the figures confirmed before we can roll the figures out. So, Assistant Treasurer, we had Bernard. I'll get you the names in no time, but we'll get the figures for you in no time. So, the counting is done. We are done with the counting for Assistant Treasurer. As you can see, that has been done, and the EC return officer will put the ballot papers back in there so she can then enter the numbers. Let me get closer and try and get the figures so we can let our viewers in on who has eventually picked up. So, as it is, we had Bernard Korte. He amassed 10 votes. Then we had Edward Patrick with 44 votes. And then we had Aurora Commodore Topa polling some 9 votes. So these are the votes. 3 people were vying for Assistant Treasurer position at the GOC. I repeat, Bernard Korte polled 10 of the votes. We had Edward Patrick getting some 44 votes, and then also Aurora Commodore Topa pulled some 9 of the votes in there. So obviously it will mean that Edward Patrick will pick up the slot as the Assistant Treasurer with the 44 votes he has pulled. As you can see now, the EC return officer is now putting the figures together. So then, of course, it can be signed by the various delegates and their agents who are here. So those are the tabulations being done by the return officer for the EC here. You're live on GHOne TV, and that's it. Live on GHOne TV, and the counting is being done.
Very much for the updates there from the Accra International Conference Center. It's been a long day. We're still counting down to the big one. So the treasurer is also done. We'll be going over to them pretty soon to give us the update. But we're getting up to minute updates here in the studio as well. We gather that the treasurer is done. So it's currently Evans, who is with badminton. So the president for the Ghana Badminton Association, he's gotten the treasurer role. So we'll go to Benghazi and then Monica to confirm that as well. But for your information, he stood for MPP, right? Bannerman. And this time around, he's with which association does he? Ghana Handball Association. Yeah. So he is currently the deputy treasurer. He stood with Topa. I was expecting the lady to come up top. So anyway, but then Mr. Bannerman has won this one, so he is going to be the deputy treasurer for the Ghana Olympic Committee. And we gather also that Evans with badminton he's gotten the nod to be the treasurer for the Ghana
my
Olympic
candidate
Committee.
has also won
Muniru.
the Secretary General.
Muniru has won the Secretary General
with 33 votes.
With 33 votes. So we'll be giving you all those updates. We're getting the updates minutes in, minutes out as they are trickling in from the conference center, but also my colleagues Benjamin Yamwa and also Monica Bukari and the team there at the Accra International Conference Center doing a great job getting us all those pictures, all the interviews that you need to see. I mean, you need to hear from all those who matter to this particular elections, as we're bringing you here from EIB and GHOne TV as well. So we're getting closer to the call. Since the Secretary General has been named, then I'm sure the counting for the president will be done soon.
Third vice.
And so the third vice is being done now. When the third vice is done, for your information, first and second went unopposed. So right after the third vice is done, then we'll get to know that of the presidency, and then we can wrap up the show. But then let me find out from you. You're so elated about Muniru, and you were expecting that Muniru came up against Shanun, who did speak with my colleague Monica. He's going to be outgoing. Shanun lost to Muniru there. But tell me what Muniru comes in with. I know him. He's an alma mater, but then you've worked closely with him. Tell us, Farida, what is Muniru bringing to the table, especially the role he's going to play? Then meaning, Apokabi has been in that role before. What different is Muniru bringing to the table?
So, uniquely, he is the proper National Federation General Secretary who will be occupying the General Secretary role at the GOC ever for the first time. Because most of the times, those occupying the position are president of the federations. So it becomes so difficult understanding what the Secretary General is supposed to do. Because the president is the leader, so they are used to allocating responsibilities to their Secretary General. So Muniru is coming in as the practical General Secretary from Ghana Swimming Association to GOC.
Okay. Let me go over to my colleague Monica Bukari right now. They have confirmed Evans Yeboah has been named the treasurer for the Ghana Olympic Committee. Monica, if you can hear me, just tell us what currently is going on. Yes.
Yeah, Joe, also I've been joined by one of the board members for the Olympic sports, Kamal Sule, who placed second and polled 50 votes to be selected as the second person to be on the sports for the board. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you so much.
Now, you pulled second with 50 votes. Tell us, what were your expectations before this?
Yes, the day of my submission, I made a solemn pledge that I was the last person to submit my forms. What I did, and I was the first person to compile the delegate list. What I did was I called almost all the delegates. I've been around for some time now. I'm the longest serving vice president in the whole Ghana sports. I've been serving as a vice president for a very long time. So I tried to speak to the delegate one-on-one, ask for their blessing, consult them. They've all agreed to my quest, and then told me that I have their blessing. So on that day, when I filed my nomination, I told your colleague journalist that I'm not making anything below 40. So I was expecting 40, 41, 43 per my calculation. But eventually I got more than my expectation. I'm so happy, I'm so grateful to the delegates as well,
Yeah, so he was expecting 48 or 47 votes, and graciously he had a 50 votes pulling in for him to be on the board for the sports of Olympics. Now tell us, you being on the board, what should we expect from you as a change to promote Ghana sports?
Yes, you see, first and foremost, we have to give thanks to Almighty God, because if you look at the election that held today, it's God that saved us. Other than that, there would have been some chaos, because one, this is Ghana Olympic Committee election. It's not just an ordinary election. One, as a matter of urgency, I'm going to prepare a motion or a bill that will govern our election, because this is the first time in my entire history to come to the GHOne election that you don't see pictures of the contestant on the ballot. No. this is unacceptable. This should not be encouraged. The last 2 elections that was held, we have our pictures on the ballot. That is one. Number 2, when I was campaigning, I raised issues of balloting. The last election we had balloting. This time around there's no balloting. I asked the electoral officials. They said the arrangement was done by first come first serve. Whoever submit in 21st century, you can't do this. Issues of this nature may create unnecessary tensions if care is not taken. 2, that's number 2. Number 3, at all times, our elections, we should have pictures of the contestant. In case you don't get the name right, at least you see the picture, you know who is coming. That's number 1. Number 2, I have been with the Federation for a very long time, and I know the challenges that Federation's head goes through. You understand? I'm going to liaise with the Federations to see their concern, because we don't have one general problem or one general concern. So we first have to liaise with the federations, get to know their concerns, you understand, and then help push for us to address it. After that, we look at the athlete participation, you understand. We should focus more on the athletes, because we are Ghana Olympic Committee. Our main focus is for us to continue to make sure our athletes will have more participation time. If we do so, that is the only way we can win medals at the Olympics. But if we don't have a specific policy directing, first we need to have a specific policy to segregate the athletes, for us to know which athletes, if we support them, will give us medals. Then we'll focus more on them, and then we'll focus more on talent identification as well. It's been a very long time for GHOne to go on a wild talent identification, and if you don't, now sports is scientific. If you don't put in, forget it. Okay, and GHOne brand, I'm very, very happy that this election there was too much mercury, too much tagging, too much insult. So now that we are regrouping, we first have to rebrand GHOne to the corporate Ghana, so that we should be looking at how to get money outside government and outside IOC. We should be targeting the corporate Ghana to come on board to support us, because we have gallant youth. Not everybody can play football. So if you focus more on other sports, then we'll be creating employment by giving them something to do. Okay, sports now is business. If you put in more, you get the results.
Thank you very much, Kamal Sule, and congratulations once again. So presently, presidential voting is yet to be counted, and Benghazi will take over to tell us exactly, give us the commentary on what's happening at where the sorting is going on for the presidential between Mike Agri and Richard Akpokavi.
Thank you, sir.
Very much so, thank you very much. And so that was Monica interacting with one of the winners for the Olympic sport. Let's now focus, because now the sorting has begun. In fact, on our left, so we are going towards that end, where the sorting for the presidential elections has begun. It's to our extreme left, so we're moving to that end in no time to monitor and run by you how the sorting and the counting will be. Clearly, that's the biggest of the positions for today's elections, and so we need to get there and of course get you to follow every bit of it. So let's just do a quick move from where we are and get ourselves to where the sorting is being done for the presidential, so you won't be lost out on anything. So there it is, the sorting has just begun for the two gentlemen who want to lead the GHOne in the next 4 years. The main contenders, as you all do know, Richard Akpokavi Esquire and Michael Adum Agre. These were the gentlemen who put themselves up for the elections today to take over from Ben Nunu Mensah, who has been the president for the past 4 years. So the sorting indeed is on, as you can see in your shots now, live on GHOne TV. Also live on Star FM. And we are live on our social media handles. So sorting been done to separate the votes for the two gentlemen, Michael Agre, and also for Richard Akpokavi. So counting is now underway. So you can see it live for yourself. What you are seeing now is the votes for Richard Akpokavi that are being counted. So the voting done, the counting underway, and what you are seeing now, the ballots being counted now are that of the votes for Richard Akpokavi. That is being done now.
23, 24, 25, 26, 27.
So 30 already, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. So I can tell you for a fact if 63 delegates voted and already he's amassed 41 votes, then it's confirmed. We can confirm to our viewers and our listeners on Star FM that Richard Akpokavi unofficially is the GOC president. He has amassed 41 votes, 44 votes. He's amassed 44 votes. So unofficially we can confirm to our viewers on GHOne TV that Richard Akpokavi is going to be the next GOC president. 44 of the votes have gone in his favor. Currently being counted now are the votes for Michael Agre. 17, 18, 19 votes for Michael Agre. So it is confirmed for the presidential elections for the GOC. Richard Akpokavi Esquire amassed 44 votes, and Michael Adum Agre has amassed 19 votes. So unofficially we can confirm to you on GHOne TV that the next GOC president is going to be Richard Akpokavi Esquire. You recall the last time round 4 years ago, he ran against the current president, Benunu Mensah, and lost out to Benunu Mensah. 44 votes now, 19 for Michael Agre. So Joel Echampong and our listeners and viewers on GHOne TV, you heard it first here. We can confirm to you that the next GOC president, from the counting that has been done just moments ago, is going to be Richard Akpokavi Esquire, amassing 44 votes, with Michael Adum pulling 19 votes from the 63 votes that indeed we counted here at the GOC elections. We're live on GHOne TV. We will get some reactions very soon from a gentleman who clearly has now officially is the official now is going to be the next GOC president. Michael Adum pulled 19 votes, and Richard Akpokavi has amassed 44 of the votes. So unofficially GHOne TV can confirm that the next president for the GOC Ghana Olympic Committee is Richard Akpokavi Esquire. So whilst we wait to get some interactions and reactions, Joel Echampong, you can take over as we try and get some reactions from the gentleman who clearly has won the elections to become the next GOC president, Richard Akpokavi Esquire.
Very much, Benjamin Yamwa, as well as Monica Bukari. Well, so as all we've been waiting for, we now can confirm and tell you here on Authority. We're the first to break this to you. So Richard Akpokavi Esquire has won the GOC presidential elections. So he's now going to be the new president of the Ghana Olympic Committee. He's going to be the one to occupy the Olympic House. So we've been telling you the road to the Olympic House, or the race to the Olympic House, and we've now seen the person whose bus or car is going to be comfortably parked in front of the Olympic House and is entering. So the keys now will be handed over to him pretty shortly from Benunu Mensah to his former Secretary General, talking about Richard Akpokavie Esquire. Well, so you can count on us here at EIB and also at GHOne to give you nothing but the best, and also up to minute we've been giving it to you from the start of the elections, everything you need to know, the conversations, the news, the updates that you needed. We give it to you all here only on GHOne TV, and also live here on our subsequent platforms on Star 103.5 FM. We were live also on social media. We're still live on the various social media handles. That is on Facebook is GHOne TV, and on X is also GHOne TV. So live pictures coming in there. I just want to find out how the mood is like from his camp. You know, Nana Mankata won, and I was giving a commentary saying that it's looking like it's lurking towards Richard Akpokavie, and obviously that is how it ended. But let me come to my studio guest, Farida. Thank you so much, and Derek, thank you so much for your time, having sat through. We're wrapping it all up. Yeah, the new SG. That's Muniru. Good to see Muniru there. But you were talking about Muniru. But let's look at Richard Akpokavie and what he brings to the table. I'll be crossing over to speak to Benjamin Graham also to give us his view of what Richard Akpokavie is bringing onto the table from his base in the United Kingdom. But tell me, do you think Richard is the best person for the role, right, Farida?
So before I go to Richard, I was talking about Muniru.
Sure.
A lot of people, especially the media landscape, do not know that he was once a sports editor for Chronicle, and he was also a deputy editor for Daily Guide.
Sports?
Yeah.
Wow.
And before he became a Daily Guide deputy editor, he was their proofreader, because he has a first class honors in English language from University of Ghana.
Okay.
And he once became an editor-in-chief of Daily Guide. You know, law practitioner. When you compare to maybe the outgoing, in fact,
So on your screens currently it's Mike Agre. Mike Agre there in your shots. And who is sitting beside him?
I think that's the guy to Benunu Mensah. You know, he's a chief.
Oh, yes. At a point I was going to ask, did Mike Agre bring this one to But for your information, the gentleman sitting there in Ghana, they call them Asafuache. So they follow the chief wherever they go. So you know that Benunu Mensah is a chief. So you have his Asafuache, who was also there to protect his chief. Because at a point, sitting closely to Mike Agre, I was going to ask whether Mike Agre brought in an Asafuache. But then unfortunately, anyway. So yeah, you were saying.
So like I was saying that Muniru is the only proper secretary from a federation who is for the first time going to occupy the SG position of the GOC. So you know that the GOC is in capable, experienced hands. Now that to Richard Akpokavie is also going to fill in his properly experienced position. That's the president, because he was also a president from hockey. So I believe that we will expect the best from him, as being a former president of hockey. It's something that he has already feeling before. So I'm sure it will be better than when he was a secretary general for the Ghana Olympic Committee. He's been there before. He has an overview of the problem, and then we'll expect him to open up his hands and receive everyone. And I'm happy about the decision of the delegate. It's different from what happened in the previous election, where delegates voted en bloc. Now it's a mix-up of different people. So you can't say that this is the whole Apokavi group or the whole different group. Sure. There are different kind of people in there, and that is why I'm so happy. So it gives them a challenge. If there is some stakeholders sitting there waiting for the next Congress to come and ask unnecessary questions, you are just shooting your own person right in the foot, because your person is part of the current administration.
That's it.
If there's another person also planning that, you have a person in there. So it makes us have like that. This is a different kind of GOC. Say any attempt.
Okay, Farida, let's go over to listen to the president-elect now and what he has to say.
I went prepared and came back, and this time I've won. So I'm happy, definitely happy.
What kind of work would you say went into producing the sort of margin that we have seen today?
A lot of hard work. They need to talk to the delegates, let them understand what we want to do together. And so it's been hard work, but it's been worth it. As I said, we are sports people, so we understand that you must work hard before you can win any competition.
What are the issues that are top of your mind that you want to immediately address?
Athlete empowerment. Welfare of athletes is important. The athletes have no voice as of now in our governance structure. This cannot go on. It must change. The athletes must be heard. Their voices must be heard at Congress, on the executive board, and at committees. We are here because of the athletes. They must be heard. Secondly, gender. The women must be empowered, must build their capacity so that there will be many more women involved in decision taking as well. And then, one thing which is very important is that there are too many disputes in sports, too many divisions. We need to work as one. We have one GOC team, several players, but one GOC team. And we must focus on building that GOC team so that Ghanaians will support us. Right now, if we are not united, we can't go to any body, any institution, any corporate body and ask for money, because they read all kinds of stories in the paper. So we must get united and build structures in our country so that disputes will be resolved within the sporting fraternity. Those structures that we can resolve through ADR and not go to court, and so many cases in court, and we are not seeing anything, beneficial to the sports disciplines.
Finally, the last sports budget did not give a lot of optimism as far as funding for sports in the country is concerned. How do you navigate around that?
That's why it's important that we ensure, because we know there's no country in the world which depends on a consolidated fund to run sports. Of course, you get something from government, but we must find a way of getting institutions, corporate world to support us. That's why we must be strategic, we must plan, and then we must be united and have one voice. When the corporate world see that we are serious, they will support us. Thank you.
Congrats!
So that's the president-elect for the GOC interacting with the media. We'll try and get a lot more interviews done. We also have got, obviously, the minister back. Honorable Kofi Adams-Sidi is back. We'll try and get a few words from him and a few other persons. Let's try and get to speak to the gentleman who also, well, he says no. We're trying to get him to interact with Michael Agre, who just lost. So let's go have an interaction with him. Quick one with gentleman. Thank you very much, sir. Unfortunately, he didn't pick up the slot as a president. What are your reactions, first of all, to the elections?
It's fine. I think it was pretty smooth. No drama or anything that is out of sorts. So the electorates have spoken, the delegates have spoken, and I think that we accept it wholeheartedly. We will support the new committee to work for Ghana sports.
Of course, that is for you. Did you expect this in any way? To get 19 votes from the 63 plus who voted here today?
No, actually I didn't. I thought it was going to be a close result. So I'm quite surprised. Prior to the elections, I said that these delegates, I believe, are discerning, and so I don't fear them. But apparently, they have lived up to expectation.
What's the way forward for yourself as far as playing a role in this?
Like I said, I'll be happy to support the incoming committee I love the sport, so it's not. This is not the end of everything. It's only broken. It's not completely dead. So we'll support in any role that one can play.
Thank you very much. And that is Michael Agre, who contested for the presidency, but unfortunately pulled 19 votes and has lost out to Richard Akpokavi, who amassed 44 of the votes and clearly is a GOC president-elect as it stands now. We'll get a few more reactions live at the International Conference Center, where the elections for the GOC just came to an end moments ago. It's been live on GHOne TV, live on all EIB platforms, on our social media handles. We have present in here, like I told you earlier on, the president, I'm sure I can say the immediate president of the GOC, Ben Nunumens, and we have got the sports and recreation minister, Honorable Kofi Adam CD, also around. So do we have the NSA director, Yaon Bofo Ankara, also around, plus all the federation heads and delegates who are here to cast their votes and to observe the election.
All right, thanks to my colleague Benjamin Yamwa there and Monica Bukari giving us all the updates from the Accra International Conference Center. So it's been confirmed it's now the new president for the Ghana Olympic Committee, Mr. Richard Akpokavi Esquire. Congratulations to him. The hockey team has already started sending in congratulatory messages. Remember, he plays a key role when it comes to Ghana hockey, committed hockey person. He's been throughout all his life, and so you should expect more from them. They're sending solidarity messages to me to congratulate Mr. Akpokavi for them. They're all doing the watching. All right, so let's go over to the United Kingdom now and join Benjamin Billy Graham on the Zoom to tell us. Now we've gotten the winner. Ben, was this what you were expecting, or you expected Mike Agre to have won?
I mean, when it comes to delegates elections, you can't say that I'm expecting this or that. But like I said earlier on in my submission, the old administration had indicated they were done. There was a new administration that's supposed to take over. Individuals put themselves forth to be voted for. The delegates believed in the two individuals and decided that Richard Akpokavi is the right person. Like I said, he's been at the GOC before. And so I believe that the delegates felt that, listen, we've seen his work, we've worked with him, and we believe that if there's an opportunity for anybody to go back to GOC and work as a president, we are comfortable working with Mr. Richard Akpokavi. And rightly so, they decided to vote for him. So the whole thing is about a win-win situation for GOC and how the new administration is going to work in tandem to ensure that whatever it takes, the limitations of the old administration, they're able to take it from there and build upon it. There's going to be a new general secretary, a new treasurer, a new president. Basically, everything is anew at GOC now. So let's see how best the federations are able to work with the new administration and make sure that everything works as planned.
Did you expect also Mike Agre with what he was bringing to the fore? Were you in a way confident that he was bringing something new compared to Richard, who's been there?
I mean, he's been a board member. He's also worked with golf as well. The federations would have to decide again in terms of, again, it has to do with relationship, whether they have seen enough of him, what he can do. If you read the profile of Akpokavi, you can talk about a long list of things he's done. And then you can compare that to Mr. Mike Agre, who is also coming in. So, well, as I said, he came in with his plans, he sold it to the delegates. But like I said, it's all about comfortability relationship and how the delegates felt they would be more, comfortable working with Akpokavi in this situation. Everybody who went in to campaign went in to indicate that I can do something, I'm bringing something new to GOC. However, the 63 delegates will also have a decision to make and say that, listen, we've listened to you, we've listened to Mr. Akpokavi, but we feel we are more inclined or aligned to Mr. Akpokavi than we want to work with you. So, like I said, everybody has a plan, but it all depends on the delegates. And the delegates decided based on what the experiences they've had with Mr. Akpokavi and said that we want to work with him.
Okay, Ben, your final submission before we let you go. Are we going to see, for you, are you envisaging a different front? Are we going to see a new breath of, at the Olympic House this time?
Yeah, I mean, once there's a new administration in, you expect everything to be new. Like I said, I'm sure Mr. Pokabi and his team would do an audit of the GOC House and then make their own decisions as to how they intend to move forward with the GOC. So everybody is just looking forward to seeing how best things align, and perfectly so. If some individuals would have to stay and work, they would be. If others would have to move on, they would also have to be. But again, it has to depend on the audits that would have to go in terms of staff audits and other things that would have to make the place look exciting in terms of their visions coming into the GOC building.
All right, thank you very much. Benjamin Willie Graham from the United Kingdom. He is the Deputy Communications Director of the Ghana Olympic Committee. All right, let's go over to the Accra International Conference Center now, where declaration is going to be made finally to give us that particular. So we've told you they are going to confirm it. We've given you an unofficial one. They are going to officially declare Mr. Richard Akpokavie as the new president-elect for the Ghana Olympic Committee. We only gave you what we projected and what we were getting from our sources. And also Mr. Richard Akpokavie had to also speak. But whether he's been confirmed by the Electoral Commission at the grounds is what we're yet to see. All right, so they are setting up. Before that, let me come to Derek. Derek, are you surprised to have seen with this particular result?
Yes. I was expecting, like Mr. Agri stated, I was expecting something close. But
the 19 was
a bit. But I also think that perhaps he entered late. Everybody was expecting Mr. Dumimisa to be there, but we all know Akpokavie. He started long ago, and he has a mission and vision. I think that he's prepared well. He has experience and everything to lead. And again, I come back to Farida. We need everybody on board.
All right, so let's go over now to the Accra International Conference Center for the declaration.
Go on, just mention that, yes.
The position of Vice President is on the post.
First Vice, yes.
So the first Vice is on the post, and we have this Maoku, Peku, Afaki. Are they around? Yes. Please, the position of second Vice President is also on the post, and is the person of Mr. Frederick Clark. The position of third vice was contested by two people. They are Mr. Danso and Mohammed Mahadi. Ernest Danso obtained 43 votes, whilst Mohammed Mahadi obtained 90 votes. Mr. Danso is therefore elected as the third vice president. And then for the position of Secretary General, Mr. Mohammed Badi had 30 votes, whilst Mr. Mohammed Muniru Kasim also had 33 votes. Mr. Kasim is therefore elected as the Secretary General. The position of Assistant Secretary General was also contested on the post, and he's in the person of Mr. Bawa Hussein. And then the position of Treasurer. Two people contested for the position of Treasurer, and they are Evans Yeboah and Isaac Awadi Dia. Evans Yeboah had 33 votes, whilst Isaac Awadi Dia obtained 30 votes. Evans was therefore elected as the treasurer. Then, for the position of assistant treasurer, Bernard Quarte had 10 votes, whilst Edward Patrick Nidante Bannerman also had 44 votes, and then Rhoda Commodore Topper also had 9 votes. Edward Patrick Nidante Bannerman is elected as assistant treasurer. And then the position of 5 Olympic sports. 8 people contested for that position, but 5 people were elected, and those George Lante had 34 votes, Delphine Akwe 53, Prosper Harrison Ado 28, Richmond Westford Paku 46, Albert J. Frimpong 14, George Tete 44, Benjamin Asante 32, Kamal Sule 50. And so the 5 people who were elected are George Lante, Delphine Akwe, Richmond Westford Paku, George Tete, and Kamal Sule.
We said that you have Alaji, but the electoral commission don't deal with titles. Yes. So Alaji.
And then the non-Olympic, one non-Olympic, 2 people contested for that position. And they are Abu Hayati, George Owusu Ansam, Nana Edu Mankata II. And so Abu Yati had 28, while George Owusu Ansam had 34. George Owusu Ansam is therefore elected as a one non-Olympic. And then the position of one affiliated also on the post, and he is the person of Samuel Pete Aye. Finally, 8 people contested for, I think, 3 other members, the position of 3 other members. And they are Emmanuel Jani, Nikwe 18, who had 18 votes, Emmanuel Usu Asan 17 votes, Michael Itoa 25 votes, Nathaniel Johnson 38 votes. I think there was a tie between Nathaniel and Edwin Amangwa. We all had 38 votes. And then Rafaki Lusa 39 votes, Philip 10, Ametu 2, Leonard Autry 5. So the 3 people who were elected are Nathaniel Johnson, Edwin Amangwa, and Rafaki Lusa. Please, we are done. Thank you so much for your patience. We are done.
All right, so there you have them. The EC has finally declared them, and they are going to be swearing in pretty soon. They have the papers, they have it in front of them, so they are going to be swearing in pretty soon. So congratulations to all of them. I see notably Reverend Kwaku, yes, notably for table tennis, went to rowing and canoeing, and is currently with squash. Also there on the board. Also, Richard Akpukavi are going to be working with all these that have been voted by the 63 delegates this afternoon.
We shall now invite the Honorable Minister for Sports and Recreation to do us the honors of swearing in the newly elected delegates. Honorable Minister. Thank you very much. I think you all have copies of the oath of office. So when I say I, you will say, and you feel in I and feel in then when we get to the point elected to the office, you mention the office you have been elected to. And because for the Olympic Games, you are Olympic Committee, and also for Commonwealth Games, you represent the two interchangeably and follow with the repetition. Thank you. So usually you are as official, so you have to take oath. Even if he's not here, the president can swear in here. It's appropriate. Otherwise, the president can swear any other person who is not here. You can swear them in at your main meeting when you swear. When he's here, it's appropriate to join. And after that, you sign, date it, and submit it. So, oath of office. Having been elected to the office of the Ghana Olympic Committee, so Commonwealth Games Association of Ghana, do in the name of Almighty God, swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the Ghana Olympic Committee, to Commonwealth Games Association, and will at all times preserve and uphold the Olympic values and conduct myself with integrity and honesty. So help me God. Congratulations. Please don't forget to write the full names and the positions to which you have been elected and sign the documents as well and let us have them.
All right, so there you have them. They've been elected now, and then you're going to, they've been sworn in by the sports minister, but then a little something here and there with regards to whether it was right for the sports ministers to have sworn them in or not. We'll find out from the right offices pretty soon, because we gather Anoka is present, and also the Electoral Commissioner himself, or the chairman for the Electoral Commission, who is Peter Zuenes, formerly with Ghana Boxing. He was actually supposed to have sworn them in, but then, it's done. The sports minister has sworn all of them in, and so there you have it. Mr. George Lamte, let me take it from those. Okay, so congratulations once again to Richard Akpokavie Esquire, who has been elected into the office as the new president for the Ghana Olympic Association. Well, so there you have in Ghana Olympic Committee President Richard Akpokavie Esquire, and the members who've been elected onto the board. We've got George Lamte, Delphina Kwe of swimming. Delphina is the only president, female president in there. And so Richmond Kwaku also has been elected, and George Tete, as well as Kamal Sule, they've been elected onto the board. And the treasurer, we have Evans Yeboah of badminton, and the deputy treasurer is Mr. Edward Nilante Bannerman, and that's the deputy treasurer. And then the third vice is Ernest Danso. And so Richard Akpokavie Esquire is the new president of the Ghana Olympic Committee. All right, let's go over, listen to Benghazi and Monica Bukari currently, if they're still there at the Accra International Conference Center. Let me hear my colleagues, Benjamin.
We are live again at the International Conference Center, where the swearing in of the GHOne Executive Committee by the Sports and Recreation Minister, Honorable Kofi Adams, just came to an end. They just signed their documents, and so it's official now. These men and women are your executives for the next 4 years. Let's take a listen to the Sports Minister as he speaks.
The positions they so fight, but only one person can occupy that at any given time. So the team has been selected to run to be the face of GHOne for the next term, which begins immediately. Our sports have been looking for a lifting, and that responsibility has been bestowed on you. I am a gender activist, and you know Olympic International has been working so hard to mainstream the competition. And so, Mr. President, and your leadership, even though the ladies didn't put themselves up to contest for a lot of the positions, that is why you have just, I can only see 2 amongst you here. As you work towards your subcommittees, look for them. They exist. There are great women also who you must bring on board. And I believe they would help you and make your leadership also complete. Look for them, bring them in, but bring the best. So, President, elections are over. And what is now is leadership. And so, as much as possible, let's try and be blind to who said what and didn't say what in the course of the journey towards this point. Sports, and for that matter, Olympic and non-Olympic sport is what should be the order of the day. And the young ones
at the Accra International Conference Center, the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Honorable Kofi Idi Adams, addressing the new administration of the Ghana Olympic Committee, who he's successfully swearing them in, just giving them a little advice as to work starting now. Also, it is Richard Akpokavie Esquire who is taking over the reins for 8 years now. We're now seeing a new president of the Ghana Olympic Committee in the person of Richard Akpokavie taking over Ben Nunu Mensah.
I'm supposed to talk before you talk, but you started it, so I'm sorry for breaking the protocol. Because I came all the way from Nigeria,
and you can't go back without.
And I can't go back without saying a word or two on behalf of ANOCA. Everybody here knows ANOCA Association of the National Olympic Committee of Africa. All the people National Olympic Committee of Africa, they are affiliated to ANOCA with the headquarters in Abuja. And that is why we are affiliated, that is why we are going to work together with. That's why you are going to get a lot of benefit. That's where some of you will be members of the Commission of ANOCA and other facilities. We have a lot of games coming up, like the school game, like the African youth game, and so many other games, African game and so on. So ANOCA is very, very important to you. Mr. President, we are going to work with our hand to hand in ANOCA, of course. You will be attending meetings, yourself and your Secretary General. So please, by now I should know you should know me, and the rest of your members. So I'm happy with what I have seen here. The election went to file, it was conducted peacefully, there is no problem. The advice I want to give you that the unity must continue. You contested, many of you contested, whether you lose, whether you win, please be united, work together. There shouldn't be any enmity. It's not a do or die affair. You must move together, you must work together to develop sports here in Ghana and Africa in general. The minister said it all. You have the support of the Honorable Minister himself, So you don't have any problem, and you have the support of Anoka. I will make sure that I give my own report, and I'm sure at any given time I will continue to support Ghana and the rest of the other African countries. The Honorable Minister said something about the gender. Unfortunately, not many women contested. That is the reason why we have only 2, which is not even up to the 30% of the number that is required. You can see what happened in the IOC. At the end of it, as at now, is a woman that is the president of the International Olympic Committee, where I'm a member myself. So please, Mr. President and your team, make it happen yourself to encourage women in Ghana to come out and contest elections in the future elections, so that you have more women in your own team. It is very, very important. You encourage them and let them come and join the election. So once more, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me congratulate each and every one of you, to wish you good luck and success, and we are available to support you and do everything to make sure that you move to a greater height. Let me congratulate the former president of the Ghana Olympic Committee, Mr. Ben. He did his best. He spent 8 years. At least I'm sure he achieved a lot. You are the witness anyway, and I'm sure with your achievement and the legacy you are leaving behind, they are coming to build on top of what you are going to do. But that does not mean that you are completely out. You have to continue giving them the support, and thereby you continue working with the team, which is led by the president and so on. So once more, congratulations. I wish you good luck and success. Welcome.
GHOne, representing the Anoka, Director General of the National Sports Authority and the deputies, fellow Federation officials. Before I start, may I just ask all the past members of the board to please rise with respect. All the past members of the board. We thank you for your service to the Olympic Committee in Ghana. God bless you, and please, you are no more on the executive board, you are still part of sports in Ghana. So when we call upon you, please get involved so that together we can build on what we have now. Thank you very much. So I really recognize the Honorable Peter Boliwe, former president of the Ghana Olympic Committee. My dear Federation officials, the GHOne elections 2025 is over. I repeat, the GHOne elections 2025 is over. Like the sportsmen and women that we are, after the competition, we shake hands because we know we can either win or lose. As members of the Olympic family, we stand for 3 important core values: excellence, respect, and friendship. These values are the foundation of the Olympic movement, aiming to promote sport, culture, and education for a better world. Excellence. This value encourages individuals to strive for the best in all areas of life. So we are trying to, what we'll be doing is strive to be the very best. Respect. The Olympic movement values respect for oneself, respect for others, respect for the rules of any game or competition, and the environment. So our responsibility is to respect ourselves and respect our colleagues. It's very important. Friendship. We are provided with a platform for fostering understanding and building bridges between people from different cultures and backgrounds. It emphasizes the importance of mutual respect and cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Olympic brand is the most cherished global sports brand. We must remember that once we represent the Olympic family, we must strive to conform to its values. If we want to get the respect and support of Ghanaians and the corporate world, especially to fund sports, we must do everything to remain united as the leading voice representing the interests of the many young people who play sports. Working as a team or unit is therefore crucial to our success. There are too many disputes that is hindering progress and unity. There are several court actions involving federations, and we cannot progress if we continue along this path. Most jurisdictions provide for a sports tribunal arbitration panel to resolve sporting disputes. One of the things we need to do is to get every federation to make provision for an alternate dispute resolution mechanism in its constitution or statutes. We at GHOne also need to provide for an ADR system so that dissatisfied persons from the federation can appeal to the GHOne tribunal for redress. It must be mandatory such that if you don't exhaust the ADR system at the federation level and at the GHOne, the court should not entertain your case. We must make a deliberate effort to take our disputes, sports disputes, out of the traditional court system. My federation leaders, in the coming weeks, all federation presidents will be invited to meet for about 2 or 3 days in an annual retreat, so that together we can chart a path and plan for the next 4 years. We need to discuss important things and come to some consensus on how we want to achieve our objective, especially funding of sports. Let me just emphasize that I am personally passionate about athlete welfare and empowerment, women empowerment, and also safeguarding and protection of women. And these will be top of my agenda. It is completely unacceptable that our athletes' voices are not heard at Congress, on the executive board. We have to change this immediately such that athletes' voices will be heard not only at Congress, but on the executive board and on every GHOne committee. In this modern era, it is sad that we have so few women, only 2 on the executive board, in leadership in the federations. In the next 4 years, this must change. We must take deliberate steps to build the capacity of our women to take leadership in sports. I want to thank you all for your support and remind you that this is a brand new day for Ghana sports. We must chart a new path and move sports in this country forward. I'll be counting on, I and my team will be counting on all of you. And remember, we are a team. We are Team GHOne, Team Ghana Olympic Committee. And all the federations are members of this team. Thank you. With teamwork and hard work, we shall achieve our goals. Let me end by assuring Anuka, the Honorable Minister for Sports and Recreation,
She does a good job when it comes to that. But let me start with Derek before we wrap up. Derek, what is your whole impression about today's proceedings and what we should expect from Richard Akpokavie-led GHOne now?
I would say that it was a well organized from start to finish, everything on point. That is why we have the success that we've achieved. For the new GHOne president, a lot is expected, like the Anoka rep was saying. They are not coming to start new, just to build on what has been done and also do more, so that there will be some bit of continuation. I also love the fact that he recognizes the past and believes that we need to work in order for us all to achieve the best for Ghana when it comes to GHOne, the Olympics in a whole. I think that the best for the period in our time won, and we all need to support and ensure that we all, at the end of the day, get what we want for Ghana sports.
All right, let me come to Farida also. Your final words before you go and join your team in celebrating Muniru.
Yeah, I'm happy about the final statement of the newly elected president. He says that there are no more candidates. They are all GOC board members. And so I would be happy if he opens his arms to invite people that are needed to give GOC a better perspective and a new pathway. And also to those who lost. Certainly, you know your competences, you know what you can do to also help. I think that we've gone away from they coming back to congresses and criticizing everything. We've gone away from that. It is us all who will come together to make the GOC better. If GOC or the current administration does not succeed, we will be part and parcel of the failure. So that is all what stakeholders have to put in mind. Muniru being in there, now Muniru is the SG for Ghana Olympic Committee. He's not SG for Ghana Swimming. He's not a candidate for Farida. No, he's going to be there as the SG for Ghana Olympic Committee. Whatever he spoke to delegates about, he is going to share his ideas to the board themselves, and in all together, not only the president, together as the 18 board members, they all have to come together, not talking outside. They have to piece in and not piece out, and make sure that they agree to disagree in-house and bring out the best for us. Commonwealth Games is around the corner. Youth Olympics is around the corner.
That's true.
LA 2028 is around the corner. And it should start today after this election. For me, I wish them the very best of luck. Because if GOC succeed, it's going to affect my federation. It's also going to affect my athletes. And so at the end of the day, I wish them the best and best of luck. We are available at any point in time when we are called to contribute our quota to the betterment of sports in Ghana.
Okay.
I believe very soon she'll go back to her office. Looks like. But congratulations to everyone who won.
I think that is what a lot of people are expecting, but that's no. Maybe in another
you are moving
session.
I think Farida wants to focus more on the World Aquatics and also what she's doing with the Swimming Federation. But from us here at EIB, or from us at GHOne on Star 103.5 and on Kasapa 102.5 FM, E.S. Okreku, he's been named the second vice president of CAF. So congratulations to him also. Good news coming in today. I'm so elated. We'll definitely be celebrating.
This is good news for Ghana.
I mean, winning good news for Ghana. Today is a good news moment. So hey, thanks so much for keeping faith with us here also and making us your choice for the Ghana Olympic Committee. So you've gotten here at GH1 TV, and thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye-bye.